After 6 straight defeats, the Xenia Scouts got back in the victory column yesterday against the Licking County Settlers by a score of 7-1. Hello, everyone. I am Terry Lash alongside my broadcast partner, Lance Morris. And Lance, big victory for the Scouts yesterday. Huge day on the mound for Ben Aldridge.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Ben Aldridge went out there, pitched probably the second best game we've seen all year by a Scouts pitcher. Went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, didn't walk a single batter, also had 5 strikeouts. So quite a day from Ben on the mound. Only reason he didn't keep going in that contest was the big bottom of the 7th inning that the Scouts put up. They put up 7 runs on the board. Yes, 7 total runs in the 7th inning. Great day for the Scouts, and that was an inning after Zach Wiley performed similar antics to what he did a few weeks ago and slammed the bats out in front of the dugout, told them to wake up. They didn't wake up that inning, but they certainly woke up in the next inning.
Brady Boucher got the start of the mound yesterday for the Settlers, and he was dominant in those first 6 innings. Only 2 hits from the Scouts, both of those coming back in the bottom of the first, but as soon as he was taken out of the game, it was a field day for the Baby Blues of the Xenia Scouts, and they ran away with that one. Now 15-12 on the season, take on the Settlers, who are 11-14 coming to this game. Scouts 5th in the league standings, trying to move up, just percentage points behind the Grand Lake Mariners, trying to get into 4th place. On the mound today for the Xenia Scouts will be Jordan Schaefer, his first start of the season. Lance, what can you tell me about Jordan?
Well, Jordan Schaefer, this will be his first start of the season, like you mentioned. He's getting a start today. He's going to have to go home for a few days. May not come back with the ball club, so Coach wanted to make sure they could get a start out of Schaefer before he potentially doesn't come back.
And here goes the first pitch to Tanner Johnson. That one's high and inside for a ball. Schaefer on the year. Only 2 innings pitched. Last time we saw him was on Sunday against the Lima Locos. Here comes pitch number 2. That one's hit towards Kyle Carnahan. Hits off his chest at third. Throws to first. And in time to Wyatt Hogan. So 2 pitches, 1 out for the Scouts. And Tanner Johnson goes down.
It's like you mentioned, we haven't seen too much of Jordan Schaefer, at least on the mound. He's been a batter in several games since joining the club a couple weeks ago. Has appeared in 2 contests, a 4.5 ERA, has only allowed 1 hit.
Still looking for his first strikeout and walk of the year. That one inside corner for a strike. Guess not really looking for his first walk, but hasn't had one yet. 0-1 from Schaefer. That one a bit high for a ball. Again, thank you for joining Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, for Xenia Scouts Baseball on a gloomy Wednesday afternoon in Xenia, Ohio. Here's the 1-1. That one's chopped over to Lee Sullivan. Picks up the grounder, throws to first in plenty of time. That puts away Dustin Lee, who is in the 2 spot tonight. The 2 up, 2 down for the Licking County Settlers.
The left fielder, number 2.
And now coming to the plate will be Dylan Calhoun from North Alabama University. Didn't get the start yesterday. A couple of lefties taken out of the lineup. I suspected because Coach Nora must have thought John Crawford was getting the start. Here's the fish one to Calhoun. Outside corner for a strike. Painting that outside edge is Schaefer. Calhoun batting .310 on the year. Pitch number 2. Swung and missed. Hacking at that one, getting a whole lot of air. Quickly up 0-2 of 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. 0-0 score. Winds and fires. That one's chopped again towards Sullivan. Picks it up on hop. Throws the first in time. 1, 2, 3. All grounders to the left side of the infield. And in his first start of the year, the complete year, as he didn't have a start at Northwestern State University either, Jordan Schaefer looks pretty dominant on the rubber.
Yeah, he did very well in the top half of the first. Got Johnson to ground out to Kyle Carnahan down at third. Mishandled it for a second, but stayed with it and was able to get the out. Then he had Dustin Lee and Dylan Calhoun each ground out to Lee Solomon over at short, and that ended that top half of the first inning. So 3 batters up, 3 batters down in the first inning for Schaefer.
And on the mound will be Patrick Peterson. No, not the cornerback from the Arizona Cardinals, but the pitcher from the Dartmouth Big Green. And Lance, this is going to be the only second start of the season for Peterson. What else can you tell us about the righty?
Well, Peterson is one of those guys from Dartmouth. I think there's 4 total guys from Dartmouth on the Licking County Settlers. He is one of those few people. He's 0 for 1 on the season with a 5.55 ERA. This will be, just like you mentioned, his second start. It will be the 6th game he's appeared in. Does have 1 save on the season. That was against the Monarchs on the 4th of July. Has thrown 11 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 16 hits given up on the season.
So a lot of green on this gray and red and blue Licking County Settlers team. The Settlers and their gray tops and bottoms with the red numbers and letters and navy blue trim right around their shoulder blades. The Scouts today in their baby blues and their home white pants and those navy blue numerals on the backs of their jerseys. And Lance, who's coming up for the side to start off this game for the Scouts?
For the Scouts, it'll be a little different lineup than we've been used to. There will be some changes later on in the year that we'll get to when they happen, but it will be led off by Lee Solomon. He's 1 for 5 this season against the Settlers, and it'll be Austin Orr. He went 0 for 1 last night, 2 for 4 against the Settlers. Didn't play in that second game. That was when he suffered his shoulder injury. And it'll be Christian Binger, who went 2 for 3 last night, is 3 for 10 against the Settlers.
Here comes the first pitch to Lee. Takes that one in there for a strike. 0-1 now to the shortstop, Lee Solomon. At Lipscomb University, he's going to be moved to second base this year. We've seen him in the 4 spot a number of times this year. Today, moved back to short. Comes to 0-1 from Peterson. Swung on and shot foul towards the coach's box. Coach Cage not in the way of that one. So quickly, Peterson goes up on Lee Solomon, 0-2. Peterson gets this pitch. He throws towards home. That one's hit towards third base. Picked up by Hickey. Thrown to first and a bit high and safe is Lee Solomon. That should be an E5 on Kevin Hickey as he took catch mark off of the bag. So Lee Solomon with a fortunate break
Designated hitter,
to get on the lead off.
number 9, Austin Orr.
Now it's going to bring up Austin Orr. Lee Solomon tied for first on the team of stolen bases this year. He had 7. Miles Wright also with 7. Also has 4 caught stealings on the year, the most on the squad. First pitch to Orr. Outside corner. Gets it for a strike. Beautiful placement that time from Patrick Peterson.
Actually, I think after last night's game, Solomon got up to 8 stolen bases.
Oh, he did on the double steal. You're right. So leading the team, Lee Solomon. Good call, Lance, as Solomon's back to first easily on the pickoff attempt from Peterson. Peterson, again, a righty, stands on the left side of the rubber, looking towards home plate. Solomon gets his lead off. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and missed by Orr. Orr hasn't been seeing a lot of action recently, still working on the shoulder injury. He's only allowed in the DH role, which we've seen him a plethora of times this year, but not getting the same amount of time he did to start this season. Lee Solomon on first. 0-2 count. No outs. Bottom 1. Outside for a ball. P square. Try to get Austin Orr chasing on that one, but nothing doing for number 9. The lefty will step back into the box. Wave his bat behind his left shoulder. 1-2. Pickoff attempt. Solomon. Back in time. Ref didn't make a call. Ump didn't make a call. Lance gives me a stank eye. 1-2 now to Austin Orr. Swung on and missed, and Orr's going to be set down on the high heat. Beautiful pitch from Peterson. Lance, it hasn't been the starting pitching that's for the Sellers and the Sears against the Scouts. It's been the relief.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. You mentioned it earlier with Boucher. Went 6 innings, had 8 strikeouts, just gave up 2 hits, each of those in the first inning. But the likes of Devin Carr and Nick Petrone walking a bunch of batters also gave up a lot of hits last night.
And here comes Christian Binger as he watches that first pitch go low. He did get to 20 walks on the season yesterday. That's the league lead. Batting .253 on the year. Another pickoff attempt in time is Lee Solomon. So 1-0 count to Christian Binger. Here comes the third. Lee fakes moving. That one a little too far inside on the delivery from Peterson. So 2-0 now to Christian. Again, batted over 370 on his all-conference this year at Southwest Baptist. 253 on the young, well, not really young season anymore, I guess, is it? That went well inside. So quickly, 3 pitches and 3 balls from Patrick Peterson to Christian Binger.
Yeah, I don't think we can call the season too young anymore since it's July.
Yeah, it's 28 games in, and the time has just flown by, Lance. It seems like we just got to Xenia yesterday. Season almost already 75% done. That one inside again, and that's going to walk Binger in. Lance, that's the league lead. He now has 21 on the year.
Kyle Carnahan.
That's the blackjack.
And you tell Christian that, and he'd say, well, I still got more hits than walks. He does now have 23 hits on the season. So even though he's happy to be on base as much as he is, he'll still rather be on with the hit than with the walk.
And batting cleanup today is not David Gahn, but Kyle Carnahan. First time this season Gahn hasn't been in cleanup. That curveball misses inside for a ball. 1-0 now to Mr. Hot Corner, Kyle Carnahan. Lee Solomon on second. He got on with air, and then Christian Binger was walked. 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Pearson looks at second twice. Now throws towards Carnahan. Swung on and bounced over to the Scouts' dugout. Evens it up at 1-1 with 1 out and 2 runners on.
Carnahan went 1 for 5 last night. Is 3 for 11 so far against the Settlers.
And something that Lance and I always bring up, he's been, for the last 2 weeks, batting so much better than he did at the start of the season. I think that's why he got that spot in the cleanup role today, as David Gahn continues to struggle. That one in there for a strike. Carnahan caught looking at that beauty from Peterson. Now down 1-2. Here's Washburn teammate David Gahn sitting behind him on deck right now, as rain begins to fall here at Grady's Field. That one way up top. That breaking ball didn't break at all. Above the helmet of Kyle Carnahan, evens things up here at 2-2.
And yeah, rain's coming down, but it's a very light drizzle, more like what we saw for most of the game yesterday.
And of course, field turf here, all the way around the field at Grady's Field. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on a hit past third, and that's going to bring Lee Solomon home. So 1-0 Scouts here in the bottom of the first inning after the RBI single from Kyle Carnahan. Squeaked by Hickey at third base. Now put 2 runners on and a 1-0 lead.
David Gahn.
That's exactly what the Scouts needed. The bats didn't do a single thing until that 7th inning last night. So to get a run on the board early on in the contest could mean a lot going forward.
So the first hit of the day, get on by Patrick Peterson, results in a run. Peterson came in today with a 5.55 ERA. David Gahn now steps to the plate. Second in the league in RBIs, tied for with 25. First pitch to him, outside corner for a strike, just painting the edge.
And that first run will be charged not earned on Peterson as Solomon came around on the error.
Good call, Lance. Christian Binger still on second in scoring position. Wind begins to pick up a little here at Grady's. That one inside corner for a strike. First one outside, next one inside. Peterson's pitch is moving. Now 0-2 to David. David also with 5 home runs this year. Facing this 0-2 count. Here it comes, and that one's way up top. I think they might have got a timeout called beforehand. And we've seen that a number of times with David Gahn calling timeout right before the pitch is thrown. That one was way up top, so I bet he wishes he would have stayed in there. We'll do it again at 0-2 from Peterson to Gahn. Here it comes. Swung and miss, and David goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the inning for Patrick Peterson, and Gahn's struggles against the Settlers continues.
Yeah, Gahn struck out 3 times last night and struck out in the 7th inning against the Locos on Sunday, so Gahn's definitely been struggling at the plate as of late.
And he's still looking for his first hit against the Settlers on the season. Jonathan Bravo no at the plate. Swung on first pitch and foul behind Coach Cates on the third baseline. 0-1 now to the left fielder.
Bravo also looking for his first hit against the Settlers. Didn't play last night and also didn't play in Game 2 against the Settlers after suffering an ankle injury in Game 1 against the Settlers.
Here comes the 0-1 and Bravo curves in there. Fouled off the tip of his bat and behind Woody Wallace, who's behind the plate today. That's where we saw DiMatteo behind the dish. And just like the first time the Scouts play the Settlers, Woody Wallace starts game number 2 in the 2-game series. And here comes the 0-2. That one's chopped towards third. Bravo will stay alive at 0-2. Scouts with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Kyle Carnahan with an RBI single. That brought home Lee Solomon. Christian Binger on second. Carnahan on first. High pitch. Good check from Bravo. Thought about it for a split second. Thought better of it.
Yeah, Peterson wanted to strike out Bravo the same way he got Austin Orr to strike out on the high heat.
David Gunn also went down on strikes last time. 1-2. Wall sets outside. Swung on and missed. So 3 strikeouts in the first inning for Patrick Peterson. He came into today's contest with only 7 through 11 and a third innings pitched. But the Xenia Scouts do put a run across the board on the RBI single from Kyle Carnahan, and we're going to the top of 2. Scouts with a 1-0 lead. So Jordan Schaefer steps back out to the mound. Got 3 ground balls in succession to end the top of the first inning. Lance, who's going to be facing here in the top of number 2 against the Settlers?
He's going to be facing the 4, 5, 6 batters of the Settlers. It'll be led off by their cleanup hitter Kyle Holbrook, who has a 15-game hitting streak on the line. He had 14 going into last night's game and didn't come in until later on in the contest. He got his first at bat in the 6th inning and got an RBI hit back in the 8th inning that really probably shouldn't have ended up being an RBI, but there's some things happened earlier on in the contest. A couple at-bats before, Doring had a hit that shouldn't have gotten down. It just blooped into right field and just miscommunication from the Scouts. So that's really the only reason his hitting streak continued, at least in that point. And then after him, it'll be Robbie Doring. And Doring went 2 for 4 last night.
Now
That'll
batting.
be Michael Ketchmark,
right
the first
fielder,
baseman
number
from Dartmouth.
9, Kyle
He went 1 for
Holbrook.
3 last night against the Scouts.
So here comes the lefty Kyle Holbrook, the right fielder. Again, didn't start yesterday, gets to start today. Here comes the pitch from Schaefer. That one's high and outside for a ball. Holbrook batting .348 on the year. Second on the team behind Zach DeCam. Here comes the 1-0, also low. 1-0 comes to 2-0. Schaefer winds and fires. That one is flown out to right field. Miles right. We'll put that one routinely away. So 3 pitches and an out here to start the top of the second inning. And 4 up, 4 down for the Settlers so far.
The shortstop, number 3, Robbie Doring.
Next, going to bring up the flyer down the road in Dayton University, Robbie Doring. Man said yesterday he got that blooper that dropped in by first base. Miscommunication by Lee Solomon and Cale Giddings, neither of which are playing the right side of the infield today. First pitch to him. That one's flown out towards right field and first base. Wyatt Hogan gets towards it. No, Christian Binger's going to make a play in foul territory. That time we saw great communication. It looks like Wyatt Hogan was originally going to try a 10 for that one. Would have been a tough play for him. Definitely over the top of his head. Christian Binger calls him off, runs under it, and 4 pitches and 2 down here for the Settlers in the top of the second inning. 1-0 Scouts.
You got to think that's something that's going into the mind of the Scouts, because had they just had that communication last night, would have been their second shutout of the season.
Here comes the first pitch. That one's lined towards right field, and the first hit of the game. Looks like it's going to be a double for Michael Ketchmark. Miles is throwing to second base, cut off by Christian Binger. It would have been a close play, but being cut it off. Lee Solomon was covering the bag at second from short, and that was a beautiful throw by Miles right on a one hop. Definitely would have been very close, but we'll never know if he would have been safe or not. But it will be a sliding head-first double for Michael Ketchmark for the first hit of the day for the Licking County Settlers.
And that was a heads-up play by Ketchmark to advance to second, knowing that ball was a little misplayed by Miles. Just took a slightly off angle, but had a nice throw into the infield. And might have been the nice play by Christian Binger just to make sure it didn't get past Lee.
And here's the first throw to Camp in there for a strike, bottom of the strike zone.
And you got to wonder, that probably would have been a close play, but maybe Lee wasn't quite ready for a throw, so maybe Christian just did the smart thing, making sure it didn't get past Lee.
Glass half full from Lance Morris, and here comes the 0-1. That one's popped high in the sky. David Gaunt trying to get under that one, throws his mask down and puts it away, and that will end the top of the second inning. Jordan Schaefer in his first start of the season, first start of 2015, and he's looking in very much control out there. Came in today with only 2 innings pitched, and through 2 innings here, he's given up 1 hit, and that's it.
Yeah, he's done very well. He's done a little bit of inverse between the first and the third innings. First inning, he got all his outs via ground ball, and then the second inning, all the outs came via fly ball. Not something you see typically from pitchers. Usually, they're either a lot of ground balls and then a few fly balls, or vice versa. But to have even for each way through 2 innings, that's fairly rare.
Today, the rain running amok in Ohio, as has been the theme all summer long. We're getting to know the ARC story here, 40 days, 40 nights. I'm pretty sure we're about a 36 right now of rain here in southwest Ohio at the AIA Sports Complex in Xenia.
I don't know about all that. It's rained a lot, but it hasn't rained quite that much. We're not trying to flood out the entire city of Xenia.
And we're almost there as rain has stopped here tonight. It's drizzled on and off all day. It's very overcast, as you can see on our live web stream. Scouts will be in action at Bob Brent Stadium tomorrow down in Athens, Ohio, to take on the Southern Ohio Copperheads. Last time Scouts went down to Athens, they lost a heartbreaker, and that one, the last batter of the game, was Levi Gilcrease, who struck out looking, and now he's at the plate here in the bottom of the second inning, up 1-0 on the Settlers. First pitch from Peterson. That one's lined to left field, and it's going to drop, and Levi's going to round first, go to second. He's going to make a close play at second base. He's sliding head first, and he's safe. Levi Gilcrease turns the single into the double somehow. Yesterday at discipleship, Coach Cates said Levi was the fastest player on the team. I think he had a solid case after that.
Yeah, I think he proved it on that one. Like you said, it was nicely hit out there towards left field. Dylan Calhoun got to that in a reasonable amount of time, but Levi just kept running and ran around first, heading for second. Somehow was able to slide on there safely. Looked like he might have been gunned down for a second.
Now, so bring out Wyatt Hogan to the plate. First pitch to him is inside for a ball. Wyatt did not play yesterday. He was on deck at the bottom of the 8th inning, but the Scouts got out, and then Jonathan Bravo was sent to the left field in the top of the 9th. Here comes the 1-0, and that one's outside and low in the turf. And it's now 2-0 to Hogan. Hogan on Sunday did a good job drawing a couple of walks in that contest. Levi Gilcrease sitting on second with a leadoff double. Here comes the 2-0, and that one's hit towards right field. Holbrook will get under that one, and Levi Gilcrease is tagging up, and he's moving. Here comes the hose from Holbrook, and gunned down is Levi Gilcrease. So a 9-5 double play, and well, it was a promising start to the bottom of the second for the Scouts. Now 2 outs with none on.
And that time, Levi had the right idea, just wasn't quite fast enough. Didn't have that great a jump to get down to third, and a nice throw from Holbrook will get the second out of the inning.
It's going to bring up Miles Wright, a right fielder, batting .265 on the year. First pitch from Peterson. Outside for a ball.
And Miles had a great game last night. Went 2 for 3. Had 2 hits in that 7th inning.
A single and a double. That double started that 7-run rally off. And here comes the 1-0 to Miles. That one's hit into left field for a single. Miles went low to bring that one back up and into the outfield. Great way to start the day for Miles Wright.
Scouts. Shortstop number 3, Lee Solomon.
So the second hit of the inning here in the bottom of the second inning. Scouts up 1-0. 2 outs here in the bottom of 2. Scouts are up to the top of their order for the second time today. As many innings. Lee Solomon at the dish. And Miles Wright is on the move. Now he's going to be throwing towards second. Now he's caught in a pickle. Running towards first. Now he's going to go back. And he's going to be chased down. Now thrown back. And now he's back on the move. And now he's finally tagged out. I can't even begin to tell you how to score that one at home. I think that was about 4 or 5 different infielders that are involved in that play. But Miles Wright caught stealing for the second time this season.
And it looks like he had Peterson's move timed and was ready to go, but was expecting the move to be to the plate, not to first. So that caused the caught stealing, and he almost got out of it. He appeared to just get past catch mark as he was running it back towards second, but slipped as he was trying to make a transition. So still made something out of nothing on that, but wasn't quite enough to get to second safely.
So the Scouts get 2 hits in the bottom of the second inning, but both were unable to come home as Levi Gilcrease, after his sliding in double, was doubled off by Kyle Frick in right field after he caught a liner from Wyatt Hogan and threw it to third base. And Hickey put him away. And then Miles Wright, who singled in the left, was caught stealing on a pickoff move from Patrick Peterson. So 3 of 3 down in a very unconventional way for the Baby Blues in the bottom of the second. And now we'll go to the top of the third with a 1-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts.
And coming up for the Settlers will be led off by Woody Wallace. He got 1 at-bat yesterday
Leading off the
and
top
was hit
half
by
of
the
the third,
pitch.
the
It'll be
catcher,
Kevin
number
Hickey.
10, Woody
He's
Wallace.
0 for 4 last night. Came into today with a 247 average. Then we'll be back to the top of the lineup with Tanner Johnson, who grounded out to Carnahan to start off this ballgame.
Jordan Schaefer from the lineup kicks and throws, and that one's hit high, high, high in the sky. Jonathan Bravo getting under that one in left field, and looked like he stumbled a bit there, went right then. Took a couple steps left before he finally put it away. Went up 1 down here in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, may have taken a strange read on that ball as he ranged over to his right, then had to range back to his left a couple steps to make sure he got under that one for the out. But no harm done as he still came down with the ball in his glove.
So here comes Kevin Hickey from Charleston Southern University. First pitch to him is low for a ball. 1-0 now from Schaefer, again getting his first start of the year. So on 2 to third and has looked great. And here comes the second one right down Detroit Street for a strike. Evened up at 1-1 with 1 out here in the top of the third. That one grounded towards Lee Solomon, picks it up, throws it to first in time to Wyatt Hogan. That was a slow roller to the shortstop, but no problem for Lee Solomon to put away Kevin Hickey. And we're back to the top of the order.
Center fielder,
Back to
number
the
8,
top of the order, Tanner
Johnson.
Johnson went 0 for 4 last night and had that ground out to Kyle Carnahan back in inning number 1.
That was on the second pitch. First one went from a ball from Schaefer. Has been working very quickly through these batters. A 2-0 count was the most that Schaefer has gotten
No, it's just nice to have.
before a swing and a ball put in play from the Settlers. So his pitch count has remained low here through 2 2/3. Here's the first pitch to Johnson. That one curves low outside the zone for a ball. Hit the brown field turf around the home dish. 1-0 now to Tanner Johnson from Denison University. Rise on fire, and that one's fouled backwards behind us here at the grandstands at Grady's Field in the AIA Sports Complex in Xenia, Ohio. It's a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third inning, 2 outs. 1-1 count to Tanner Johnson. Scouts up on the Licking County Settlers. That one's hit towards left field. Jonathan Broad will make a run at it, but it's going to drop in front of him. He's going to make the third or second, so it'll be a single for Tanner Johnson. He gets his first hit in this 2-game series against the Scouts.
And for the second straight inning, the
Second
Settlers
batter,
get their
second
first
baseman.
hit of that inning
Number
after
5,
2 outs have
Justin
already
Lee.
been reported.
Second hit given up on the game for Jordan Schaefer. Now it's going to bring up Dustin Lee, the second baseman. Ground to Lee Sullivan last time. First pitch swinging. Playing 293 on the year. First pitch this time right down the equator. Count is now 0-1 for Schaefer. Schaefer spent this last year at Northwestern State University. Here's a pickoff attempt towards first. Back in plenty of time with Tanner Johnson. He didn't even go down sliding into the field turf. And now Schaefer will be transferring to Hines Community College, also in Louisiana. 0-1 count now. Here's the pitch, and there's a bunt attempt. Let's see if they're going to let that one. They will let it roll foul. Originally, it looked like a good attempt from Lee. Was walking the tightrope on the third base line, but fell off to the left side. Foul for a fortunate break for Jordan Schaefer.
Yeah, it was a very gutsy call by Lee to bunt with 2 down, but Carnahan was playing very deep down at third, so figured why not try and get one down with just 1 strike on him, and almost had that opportunity happen, but just barely fell foul.
0-2 now for Schaefer, still looking for his first strikeout of the season. Here it comes, and that one swung and tipped just barely. Looked like it got maybe the tippy top of that bat before it's fouled back to the backstop. And the hit and run was on as Tanner Johnson was on the move from first to second. Scouts up 1-0 here in the top of the third inning, 2 outs. Runner on first base. 0-2 count. Now to Dustin Lee. Jordan Schaefer from the stretch. He throws. Now it hit right back to the middle. Nice play by Christian Binger to catch it on the fly. A super snag by the second baseman. Christian Binger goes down to his knees, puts 2 hands on his glove, and makes the play. A well-hit ball from Dustin Lee, but just phenomenal fielding from Binger.
Yeah, we've seen Christian make a lot of nice plays over at second base. Usually it's just getting in front of a nicely hit ground ball, but he made a great play there to dive over across his body and catch that with his glove for the line out to end the inning and keep the Settlers from getting on board.
Not a lot of action going around the Great Lakes League, and by not a lot, I mean none, as every single game has been canceled. The Cincinnati Steam and the Galleon Graders were playing earlier. Steam were up 2-1. That game went to a rain delay and has since been canceled. Grand Lake Mariners and Hamilton Joes had a doubleheader scheduled. That was canceled. The Graders and Steam had a doubleheader scheduled down at McClearly Field in Western Hills High School. That was canceled. And the game between the Lake Erie Monarchs and Southern Ohio Copperheads at Bob Wren Stadium down in Athens, Ohio. Well, you get the theme that's going on here, Lance. Also canceled. So 3 doubleheaders today that were canceled, and also the Lima Locos against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club at Simmons Field was canceled. So that's a large range in Ohio between those sites, and every single last one of them ended in cancellation.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rain basically throughout this entire summer in Ohio, but the field turf here at Grady's Field can battle all that rainfall, so unless it just straight storms for hours, it can handle all this rain.
Here's the first pitch to Peterson to Solomon. That one misses outside on the curve. Solomon, we saw. And then at the bottom of the second inning, Miles Wright was caught stealing. Here comes the 1-0. That one's hit high, flown out to center field. Now we put away by Tanner Johnson. On the second pitch, Lee Solomon flies out to deep center as he got a little too far under that one.
And in each of his at-bats, Solomon hasn't been
Next up to
overly
the plate,
patient
the
up the plate.
designated
It was a
hitter,
1-0
number
count before
9,
he flew out to
Austin
Johnson.
Orr.
Solomon grounded towards Hickey at third with an 0-2 count and eventually got on by there and came around to score a run.
Now come up to plate is Austin Orr, the lefty, and that one hits the outside corner of the dish. 0-1 now to Austin, who struck out last time he was up. 1-0 Scouts here in the bottom of the third inning. One out, none on. Here's the 0-1. That one in the turf and past Woody Wallace. We got P squared on the mound, W squared behind the plate, and Patrick Peterson and Woody Wallace.
You love it when you can say something's P squared or W squared, don't you?
I'm a big fan of alliteration, and here comes the 1-1. That one outside for a ball. Just missing was Patrick Peterson. One out here. Here's the 2-1. That one high and inside, right at the wrist of Austin Orr, and he's brushed back a little bit. 3-1 count to him now. Austin tied for second on the team in walks this year. 3-1 pitch. That one misses outside in. Another free 90 feet for Austin Orr as he'll take that leisurely stroll to first.
The second baseman,
Austin's
number 4,
12th
Christian
walk on the season.
Binger.
Significant less at bats than a lot of members on the Scouts.
And the reason for that is because of that shoulder injury. The reason why we don't see Austin in the field anymore. Started every game at shortstop for the Scouts until that injury. It's been nagging him. Now Christian Binger at the plate takes the first one for a strike right down the pipe.
Yeah, yesterday Austin went to the doctor and is cleared to throw slowly but surely. He took some grounders today but was only throwing underhand, so still not ready to give his shoulder the full treatment.
Pick up attempt or slides in smoothly just like he bowls a bowling ball, as we saw a couple of weeks ago, into first base.
But you didn't win, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Austin was pretty good.
Hey,
0-1 count with one out now to the second lefty in succession, Christian Binger. And that one is popped high in the air and out of play. I think he originally started trotting towards it, but realized no shot of that one. But Binger now down 0-2. But one thing we know about Christian Binger, in spite of being down 0-2, he will remain patient at the plate. Of course, with no other games going on, his 21 walks will end tonight as the league leader. As he walked back in the first inning. Here comes that 0-2. Curves, but just misses the outside corner. Good pitch that time from Patrick Peterson. Just missed it by a smidge. 1-2 now of Austin Orr on first base. 1-0 Scouts here in the bottom of the third inning. Lance Morris, we saw Terry Lash pick off a 10th, but back in time is Orr.
How that happens, I can't wrap my mind around it. It's fun.
Austin takes a pretty decent lead off of the first base bag. Binger back into the box. Here comes the 1-2. And a check swing from Christian Binger. Just held up, did not go around to even up at 2-2. And that's exactly what Lance and I were talking about. Poised at the plate for Christian.
and Austin doesn't have a stolen base, has been caught stealing twice.
2-2. Peterson on the mound. Here's the throw. That one curves and misses outside again. Austin on the move, and he is safe easily. As a great one to steal on because it was a slow curve from Patrick Peterson to make the count full as he just missed the outside corner again. And Austin Orr heads up steal, puts him in scoring position with one out.
And Binger was down 0-2, works it back to 3-2.
Full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit towards center field. Tanner Johnson. Actually, Calhoun will come from left, put that one away. Dylan Calhoun in the left gets to start today after not starting yesterday. Now 2 down with Austin Orr at second base.
Now batting the third baseman, number 16, Kyle Carnahan.
That's going to bring on Kyle Carnahan back in the first inning. You know, that RBI single that brought home Lee Solomon from second base. Austin Orr got a lot of speed over there with his big lead off the second. About a third of the way there already. Curves, and that was shot towards third. And, ooh, no hands from Coach Case as it bounces off him. We got a case of the Butterfingers.
He also doesn't have a glove. That might play a factor.
No mercy here at the press box for Coach Case. We know he can make that play. Throw out batters from a little right of the third base bag. 0-1 now to Kyle Carnahan. 2 outs. Runner on second. Here comes the pitch. Curved in there. Chopped right in front of Peterson. Picks it up. Looks like he thought he was going to tag Carnahan, but decides to make the throw to catch mark. Underhanded. Much smarter and easier play instead of playing tag of Kyle Carnahan. And like that, the Scouts leave a runner on in scoring position. Third runner they've left on this game. Scouts still lead this one by a score of 1-0 as we're here in the top of the 4th inning. This game started at 7:05, 7:44 right now. It's about 40 minutes in, and we're getting ready for inning number 4.
So since this is the first start of the season for Jordan Schaefer, we have no idea how long he will go. Had just 2 innings of work for the Scouts coming into the day, and each of those was a 1-inning outing. So until we see some action in the bullpen, we're just going to think that Schaefer's out there as long as he can go.
You would have to assume, as you likely mentioned earlier, Jordan Schaefer with some personal issues will not be with the team. He's going to head back home to Louisiana starting tomorrow. His future with the Scouts is uncertain. Jordan came to the team last Sunday against the Galleon Graders. Has been a very welcome addition, a great young man, a bright light for the team. One of the funnest personalities on the whole squad. Has become family as soon as he stepped foot here in Xenia, Ohio, and we're really fortunate to see him go home.
And the most important part, he was a part of Team No Bumpers.
Very true. Also a very good bowler. 1-0 Scouts are about to start the 4th inning. Lance, what's the side coming up? As we see the first pitch and a bunt attempt outside for a ball.
First up, it'll be Dylan Calhoun, the left fielder from University of North Alabama. Then it'll be Kyle Holbrook, the right fielder from Dartmouth, and that'll be Robbie Doring, the shortstop from Dayton.
1-0 pitch, chopped towards the first base foul line and the Settlers dugout. The first time we've seen a foul ball drift towards that direction. Calhoun, a lefty, followed by the lefty Holbrook, and then Robbie Doring, the shortstop. So Calhoun grounded to second, short his first time up, swings and misses that one. Big hack from Calhoun. Count is now 1-2. Again, Schaefer looking for that first strikeout of the season. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung at the high heat, fouled it out towards the Scouts' bullpen area. Calhoun stays alive. Calhoun, number 2, lefty left fielder. We'll do it again at 1-2. Here comes Schaefer's delivery, and that one is in the turf. Try to get Calhoun a chase. It's even back up at 2-2 for number 2. From the windup, here comes Schaefer. That one in there for a strike. I thought it was right down the middle, but didn't see a call right away. But Calhoun is caught looking at a beautiful day of baseball from Jordan Schaefer for his first strikeout of the season.
Yeah, some of these umpires like to really take their time when calling strike 3.
Here comes the first delivery to Holbrook, lined over towards White Hogan. Makes a nice effort, but can't grab that one. So a first pitch single for Kyle Holbrook, who's now 1 for 2 today. That's the 3rd hit of the day given up by Schaefer.
And he now officially has a 16-game hitting streak.
Unbelievable.
The shortstop, number
No one will be able to get to
Robbie Doring.
Joe DiMaggio's record as we play a 40-game season here, but
He can do his best.
16 is pretty impressive nonetheless. Settlers came in at a 11-14 record, so 25 games, 16 in a row for Holbrook. First pitch curves into the inside corner to Robbie Doring. Count's now 0-1. Schaefer now working from the stretch. Holbrook takes his lead at first base, and that one's low. David Gunn with the throw to first. White Hogan applies the tag, but in time is Holbrook. Nice play from his knees. David Gunn didn't even move his lower body. All arm strikes on that throw to White Hogan. 1-1 with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Xenia Scouts over the Licking County Settlers. Here comes the delivery. Swung on and missed from Robbie Doring. Count is now 1-2. to the shortstop who flew out to Christian Binger last time. Schaefer got Dylan Calhoun to start this top of the fourth looking. And that single put Holbrook on first. Here comes the 1-2, and that one's low. And another pickoff attempt. That one bit high. Wyatt Hogan, not the tallest first baseman in the world, especially since some of the Scouts catchers are used to Cale Giddings and Lincoln Reed on first base, the two biggest players on the team. A drastic contrast to Wyatt Hogan, first baseman from Hendrix College in Arkansas. 2-2 count. Here's the throw. That one, and it's hit high, high, high in the air. And we see the spike from Dorian Miles right, puts it away in right field, and 2 down here in the top of the fourth inning.
Schaefer's done a good job working through this lineup for the second time. Did allow Johnson and Holbrook to get on with hits, but did a good job dispersing of Lee, Calhoun, and Doring.
Schaefer now with over 40 pitches on the afternoon here in the top of the fourth inning. That first pitch was checked on, and we see a move from Holbrook. Goss going to hold it, going to eat that one. It's going to be a pass ball. That puts Kyle Holbrook at second base in scoring position. So a runner on second base with 2 outs here, 1-0 to Michael Ketchmark, who doubled last time. So if he was able to double here, he'd most likely even up this game. Scouts with a 1-0 lead here on the top of the fourth inning. Here comes the 1-0, and that one's in the turf. Good block that time by Gaunt. Jordan Schaefer getting his first start of the season today. Only his third appearance of the season. Pitched 2 innings prior to today's game before he got today's start. A transfer from Northwestern State. A Louisiana native. And here comes his 2-0 pitch. Curves in there. Took a whole lot off of that one. Jordan Schaefer just stuns Michael Ketchmark on that delivery. So 2-1 to the first baseman, Michael Ketchmark. Got both starts at first this series, and that one's going to be fouled out of play to the right side from the right-hander. Even up at 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner on second base. Deuces Wild here in the top of the fourth inning. Schaefer started this inning with a strikeout. You'd love to end it on this pitch right here. Here it comes, and that one is going to be chopped over to Christian Binger at second base. Throws to first, and Wyatt Hogan puts it away a little bit low on that throw. Good job by Wyatt. Make sure he backhanded that one, and after a runner gets in scoring position, and Kyle Holbrook, Jordan Schaefer gets out of the danger, and we're going to the bottom of 4. Scouts up 1-0.
Yeah, Schaefer's done a great job through his first 4 innings of work. Set down the Settlers without too much difficulty. Has allowed a hit in the second, third, and fourth innings, but he's done a great job working around them and not worrying too much about those runners and going right at the batters and having them ground out, and had a few flyouts earlier on.
Through 4 innings, Jordan Schaefer has given up 3 hits, has 1 strikeout, no walks. So no walks on the season, and most importantly, no earned runs today. No runs, period. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. A 1-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts, trying to get their second consecutive victory. Yesterday, they ended their 6-game losing skid. Not win a single game last week. Tuesday through Sunday, it was a whole lot of L's for the Xenia Scouts.
We won a game yesterday. If we win today, that's 2 in a row. If we win one tomorrow, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
Thank you, Lance Morris, for that recap. The more wins you get, the better season year's going. More further astute analysis here at the press box at Grady's Field. As we're going to the bottom of the fourth inning here, David Gaunt stepping up to the dish. And after David, who do the Scouts have coming up, Lance?
After David, who is getting set for his at-bat right now, it'll be Jonathan Bravo. He struck out in his first at-bat in the opening inning, and then it'll be Levi Gilcrease, who had a double in the second.
Swung and tipped away, foul for David Gaunt. Settlers has yet to get his first hit in the season series here in game number 4 between these two teams. Scouts swept back in Newark, Ohio, in Don Edwards Field. 0-1 to Gaunt. Curves inside corner for a strike. Beauty on that one from P squared Patrick Peterson. Against Scouts, 1-0 lead. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, 0-2 count for David Gaunt. Here comes the throw from Peterson. That one well outside. Good eye from David. 1-2 now to David Gaunt.
Okay, I thought it was a ball. It looked like a ball.
Here comes the 1-2. That one's low in the turf. Good job by Wallace to block it. No one on base, of course, so wouldn't have done anything, but good practice nonetheless.
Still want to always have good habits behind the dish, even when there's nobody on base.
Repetition builds success. Here's the even 2-2 in that one. And gotten checks also low in the turf. I thought he might try to go around on that one, but good job from David.
Did a good job holding up on that one, as that one looked nice off the hand and then eventually flew outside into the opposite batter's box.
David works to a full count. Here's the payoff pitch, and that one's tipped away. That might have got the hand of Woody Wallace. He's grabbing at his left wrist after that foul ball from David Gaunt. And yesterday, we saw Damo DiMatteo behind the plate. It looks like Coach Nora's going to come out to check on his catcher, Woody Wallace, who, Lance, I think he has some pretty exciting news coming up.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. He will be one of the bullpen catchers at the All-Star game next week in Cincinnati, Ohio. And that's a pretty high honor, and he goes to the University of Cincinnati. He must have known a couple other people to have that in, and that'll definitely be an experience he'll never forget.
It'll be a great experience, a great American ballpark. Payoff pitch, 0.2.0, and that one is outside for a ball. So David Gaunt gets on with a walk. And it's not a hit. So that's going to end
the left fielder,
the on-baseless streak for David Gaunt, who now stands on first.
That'll be the third walk of the day for Peterson, and that brings Bravo to the plate.
3 strikeouts and 3 walks for Patrick Peterson. Bravo shows the bunt. That one's in the turf, but quickly we saw the reactions of Woody Wallace. That's going to hold David Gaunt on first base. So 1-0 now to Bravo, who struck out swinging to end the bottom of the first.
And bunting has been a very hit-or-miss thing for the Scouts. Either they're all bunting well or nobody's bunting well. So we'll see if the bunt's still on with the 1-0 count.
He keeps playing very far in on third base. Here's the bunt attempt. That was tipped foul towards the entrance of the first base dugout, occupied by the Licking County Settlers here at Grady's Field. The lights have been on all game long as it's been a gloomy Wednesday afternoon for some baseball with the Xenia Scouts and the Licking County Settlers in Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League action. 1-1 count to Jonathan Bravo. David Gaunt on first, shows bunt. That was hit high in the air. Woody Wallace is not going to be able to get to that one. I thought we might see a Michael Phelps type dive towards the backstop, but Wallace is going to hold up.
That would be very, very rough to do a Michael Phelps type dive into turf, not into water.
Just splash into the pelvis and watch them fly high in the sky.
That would hurt a lot.
It probably would. We didn't see it. Probably why. 1-2 count now for Bravo, who we won't see bunting now. David Gaunt on first base. Here comes that 1-2, and that one's well outside. That one slides outside of the zone and low. Evened up at 2-2 to Bravo.
And especially with the last couple batters, the Scouts doing a much better job working the count against Peterson in the first inning or so. A lot of first couple pitch swinging, and then you see a 2-2 count here to Bravo and a 3-2 count before we're gone.
That one swung and tipped backwards. We'll do it again at 2-2 Bravo. Just got the 60th pitch of the game out of Peterson. So his pitch count getting up there. Still no activity in bullpens for either of these two teams here in the bottom of the fourth. Scouts have 1-0 pickoff attempt. David Gaunt back. Scouts are down, and I remember that one David Gaunt was actually caught with a pickoff attempt, and that time David Gaunt again close down Athens. Going to try to get it in standing on, was tagged in the hip right before he got to the first base bag. He contested that, as they heard in the post-game interviews. He was player of the game. 2-2 to Bravo at the plate. Swung and pulls that one to left field. So a single from Jonathan Bravo, and that's a whole lot of muscle on that one.
All I can say is wait, because he had that one in on his
Now
hands
batting
from the
center
get-go
fielder number
and
6,
still got the one drop in
Gilchrist.
short left field. So all I can say is weight room. Bravo doesn't miss a single day.
Gains. Jonathan Bravo is about the gains, and he just gained a single there.
Hashtag gains.
Hashtag gains for Jonathan Bravo. Runners on first and second now. No outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. First pitch to Gilchrist. That one's going to be popped up and put away by Woody Wallace. So, like Lance said, it seems like bunting for this team is an all-or-nothing type of deal as the Scouts are laying him down. They're all laying him down like bricks. Now they're all being popped up in the air like balloons. So, one down now for the Scouts after the first pitch. Bunt is popped up from Gilchrist.
And that hasn't been the first time we've seen someone on the Scouts pop out a bunt. I think that is the second time we've seen Levi do that, though.
Now Wyatt Hogan up to the dish. He was doubled up last time on that 9-5. First pitch in him curves to the bottom of the zone for a strike from Patrick Peterson. Went out here in that last one. He lined it to right field where Holbrook put it away and then threw it to third base, and Kevin Hickey applied the tag to Levi Gilchrist to put 2 down for the Scouts. Runners on first and second. That one swung hit right up the middle as we fielded at second and thrown to first for the double play. So the second straight time Wyatt Hogan hits it to the double play. That one, the 6-3 variety. What a play by Robbie Doring, showing off his athleticism. Fields it, steps on the second base bag, jumps over the sliding Jonathan Bravo, who is coming in hot, and delivers a beautiful throw in the air to catch mark at first to double off Wyatt Hogan.
And that was just an unfortunate play there for Hogan. He hit that one nicely back up the middle, but since there was somebody at first and Bravo was going to second, it allowed Doring to be in the right play for there at shortstop to turn that into a double play.
So one left on for the Scouts in the bottom of the fourth inning. That was the fourth batter left on bases today for the Xenia Scouts. The Licking County Settlers have left 3 on as they head to the top of the fifth, and we see Jordan Schaefer come out for his 5th inning of action. He's warming up with Lincoln Reed behind the plate. He'll be replaced by David Gott. Still no activity in the Scouts bullpen. Schaefer is throwing an absolute gem so far through 4 innings. He's given up 3 hits. That's 1 strikeout and no earned runs.
And Schaefer will be facing the bottom of the order for the Settlers, but doesn't mean these guys can't hit. It'll be led off by Zach DeCamp, has actually the highest average on the club with a 362 average. He comes from Lake Erie College, teammate of Scouts player Cale Giddings. Going to be Woody Wallace, their catcher, hitting 254 on the season. He flew out to Bravo his last plate appearance, and then it'll be Kevin Hickey from Charleston Southern. He grounded out to Lee last time out.
First pitch to DeCamp is going to be past the outstretched glove of Kyle Carnahan for DeCamp's first hit this series, as he went 0 for 3 yesterday. Flew out to David Gaunt last time, so he starts off this inning with a single.
Woody Wallace.
That's going to bring Woody Wallace to the dish. Wallace, another righty. First time this game to start off an inning, Schaefer has allowed a hit. First pitch to Wallace. That one's hitting in the exact same area, and so back-to-back singles to left field. Put the Scouts in a little bit of danger as to see if Coach Cates moves to put a pitcher in the bullpen now.
Third baseman, number 7, Kevin Hickey.
Both of those were on first pitches, so Settlers come out very aggressive here in the top of the fifth. Scouts with that 1-0 lead trying to hang on.
And you got to think that they've noticed that Schaefer's been throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, so both DeCamp and Wallace both jumped on those first pitches for base hits.
David Gaunt just had a word with his pitcher. Got to think that probably telling him to throw one outside the zone here because Coach Nora must have told him to start swinging away on those first pitches. Here comes the first to Hickey. That one's up high for a ball, so he did throw outside the zone, but a bunt attempt was being shown. Hickey pulls back, so 1-0 now to the third baseman. Runners on first to second. Back-to-back singles to start this inning for the Settlers. Another bunt attempt. That one's going to be laid foul. Count is now 1-1 to Kevin Hickey. At the bottom of the Settlers' order on deck right now will be Tanner Johnson, who singled last time. Let's start the order up for the Settlers for the third time this ball game. One now. Runners on first and second. Schaefer checks second, throws home. Bunt attempt laid down, and that one's going to bounce foul. Second foul ball on the bunt attempt by Kevin Hickey. And that's an area the Scouts have struggled, and Kevin Hickey struggling at the plate as well, so we won't see a bunt attempt now with the 1-2 count.
Lincoln Reed is going to walk to the bullpen in catcher's gear, but no pitcher is following him, and now Thomas Wanning will jump out and follow him. So Thomas Wanning will head to the bullpen to warm up.
Actually, only 2 Scouts' arms were used. Ben Alders went 7 innings, and Joe Chasen finished it off with the last 2. So a lot of fresh relievers for the Scouts. We'll probably see Thomas Wanning, the first one to be used. Here comes the pitch, and fouled away by Hickey. Counts 1-2. We'll do it again at that same count. No outs here. Schaefer would love to get Hickey to hit it into a double play ball, just like the bottom of the fourth ended for the Scouts on the 6-3 double play. A great play by Robbie Doring to get out Bravo and Hogan. Here comes that 1-2 pitch. That one low and away in the turf. Good block by Gaunt. Catcher from Washburn University, the Ichabods of Washburn. Camp on second. Wallace on first. Schaefer from the stretch on the mound with a 2-2 count. David Gaunt behind the plate. Here's the throw. Fouled away. Wyatt Hogan's going to give it chase. His hat falls off the long flowing hair of Wyatt Hogan. But all for nothing. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Long at bat here for Kevin Hickey. Big contrast from the first 2 batters who got singles on the first pitch. 2-2 pitch from Schaefer. That one again fouled away towards all the children in the area. They're going to give chase to that one. So for the third time, we'll have this 2-2 pitch coming from Jordan Schaefer as Thomas Wanning winds up in the pen. Solomon stands closely behind the camp at second. Here comes that 2-2. Curves in there. That one's hit high in the sky. Christian Binger getting under it and puts it away. So a perfect result for Jordan Schaefer as the infield fly will be caught and the runners will not be able to advance. Now 1 out
Center fielder number 8
here in the top of the 5th with a 1-0 lead for the Scouts.
Started like 20 seconds because it's really slow.
1-0 lead. Xenia up against the Licking County Settlers. Going to this is Tanner Johnson. Single last time. Double play ball is in effect. Jordan Schaefer on the mound. He throws from the stretch. Swung on and missed. That first pitch swinging and missing from the center fielder from Denison University.
Schaefer's done a good job of working in his curveball into the dirt. Makes it very appealing for those Settlers hitters.
1-1. Just
0-1 now
1-1. Okay.
to Jordan Schaefer. To Tanner Johnson. 2-1. Here's the 0-1. And again, the curve gets him guessing. Counts now 0-2. Schaefer getting the better of the center fielder in this duel.
Yeah, you have to think after 2 curveballs in the dirt, bring him maybe a high heater to see if you can get him to chase on the 0-2 count.
Variety of pitches and a variety of areas. Let's see if it happens. That one is some high heat, but White Hogan's going to give chase, but it's going to bloop over his head, and they're going to send hold to camp, throw at home plate. Gallant gets it, not in time, and the game is evened up at 1 apiece with the RBI single from Tanner Johnson. He chased that one. There was some high heat outside the zone, got his bat on it, And it just drifted over the head of Wyatt Hogan. Zach DeCamp was sent home, and the game is now tied at 1 apiece.
And that was just a well-placed ball by Johnson. It was a nice pitch on 0-2 from Schaefer. It wasn't in the strike zone, but Johnson was just barely able to muscle that one into short right field over the head of Wyatt Hogan. And a pretty decent throw, but wasn't a very hard throw from Hogan, and it results in DeCamp being safe at the plate to tie this one up.
So DeCamp scores. Woody Wallace has advanced to second on the single. Third hit of the inning for the Scouts, and Thomas Wanning still warming up. We haven't seen the move from Coach Castro. He's still talking to Jordan Schaefer. There is one out here in the top of the 5th inning with this even score. Scouts still in a lot of danger of runners on first and second. Zach DeCamp starting this inning off with a single. Woody Wallace then put him on second after he fell off a single himself. Kevin Hickey flew out to Christian Binger, then Tanner Johnson on an 0-2 pitch was able to bloop it by Wyatt Hogan to bring home DeCamp to tie this game up, and now Dustin Lee comes to the dish. Schaefer will stay out there after being talked to by Coach Bubba Cates. First pitch, inside corner for a strike to Lee.
So Lee's 0 for 2 so far today with a ground out to Solomon and a line out to Christian Binger.
Lee from Northwood University in Michigan. Here comes the 0-1. Curved and fouled away towards the Settlers bullpen to the right side. So 0-2 now to Dustin Lee. But remember, it was Tanner Johnson with an 0-2 count. And as the last batter, we saw with the RBI single that tied this one up at 1 apiece here in the top of the 5th inning. Settlers now with 6 hits on the contest, half of them coming in this half inning. Swung on and missed, but it gets behind Gaunt. And that's going to load the bases. Are they saying that one wasn't dropped, or what's going on with that?
It must have not
Next up to
been
bat
dropped.
for the Settlers.
Must have just missed the glove entirely of David Gaunt. I don't know how that would be possible for it to bounce like it did, but it's not rolled a drop third strike like I originally thought it would be. It does advance the 2 runners on. Since it didn't hit Gaunt, would that be rolled a pass ball? Or
I don't know.
I don't know, but runners are second, third here with 2 outs. That one's going to be lined to Christian Binger. He misplays it. The error on Christian Binger. And a throw to the plate. And 2 runs come across and out at second. So a whole lot going on right there. The liner from Dylan Calhoun gets past Christian Binger. That brings both Woody Wallace and Tanner Johnson to the plate to extend this lead to 3-1. Then Calhoun tried to go to second base and was tagged out, but not before the damage was done. 3 runs come across that inning. Only one of them will be earned because of the error.
Yeah, that was definitely a strange sequence there, so I'll walk through it as best I can. It was grounded towards Christian Binger, went off his glove, got behind him, went into the outfield, and that allowed both Woody Wallace and Tanner Johnson to score. Then he was able to gather it up and throw it to the plate to Gaunt after trying to throw out Johnson, and then Gaunt himself threw it over to second to get Calhoun. So an E4, and then eventually was thrown out by Gaunt.
Yeah, a whole lot going on before. Play before, we saw Dustin Lee strike out, but it got by David Gaunt. Was not rolled a drop third strike. That did advance the runners to second and third, and because of that, the error on Christian Binger caused both to score from scoring position. Put this at a 3-1 lead for the Settlers, and really unfortunate for Jordan Schaefer. I have to imagine his day is done, as we saw Thomas Wanning warming up earlier. 3 runs come across the board. Of course, only one of them earned. That one was from Zach DeCamp. But another error from Christian Binger, now has 4 on the year and has been struggling in the field recently. Because that would have ended the inning as we go to the
bottom half of the
bottom of 5.
Scouts.
With Miles Wright coming to the
Right fielder
dish.
number 2, Miles Wright.
So we're on Miles Wright. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Had a hit back in the second inning, but was caught in a rundown between first and second, and that ended that second inning.
Scouts going to have to rally here if they want to get their second straight victory. Peterson still on the mound. Miles shows a bunt. That was popped way behind. Bounced off the grandstand above us. 0-1 now to the right fielder. Scouts down 3-1 in this contest. Just gave up 3 runs back in the top of this inning. We're in the bottom of 5 now. 0-1 pitch from Peterson. That one outside for a ball. Good eye from Miles. Miles batting .265 on the year coming into today. 1 for 1 in this contest as he calls for time at the plate. Trying to get his mind right. Steps back into the batter's box. And we'll do it at 1-0. Here comes the throw from Peterson. That one's way up top. Hits the ceiling. Counts now 2-0. Be 2-1. As I forgot about the foul bunt that went way behind us. 2-1 with 0 outs here. 2-2 now after Miles checks on that one, but is in the zone regardless. So even up at 2-2. To number 2, Miles Wright, the right fielder. Peterson has done very well today. He's only given up 1 earned run here in his 5th inning of work. 2-2 pitch incoming. That one gets him looking. Miles Wright can be sent back to the dugout after that pitch hits the bottom of the zone.
This is the
That'll be
shortstop, number
Peterson's
3,
first strikeout
Lee
since the first inning. Now it's
Solomon.
4.
So that'll bring up Lee Solomon. He's 0 for 2 today. Did get on back in the first inning on the error from Hickey. First pitch from Peterson. That one right down the middle for a strike. 0-1 now to the shortstop from Lipscomb University.
Lee reached in the first inning off an error and then flew out to center fielder Tanner Johnson back in the third.
Next pitch. That was going to hit it right back up the middle for a single. Lee Solomon now 1 for 3 today. Shortstop from Columbus, Ohio. Originally went to Columbus Academy from Gahanna.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 9, Austin Orr.
Scouts trying to rally. Down 3-1 after giving up 3 runs here in the top of the 5th inning. Now in the bottom of 5, Austin Orr comes to the dish. He walked and stole last time before he was stranded. Pickoff attempt is a lob from Peterson to Catchmark. We did see Miles Wright get caught stealing to end the 2nd inning. Now he'll throw to the plate. That one inside to Austin Orr. If you remember correctly, Austin faced 3 straight inside pitches to draw his last walks. Patrick Peterson with 3 walks on the day and 4 strikeouts. A pickoff attempt. Solomon slides in easily. Count is now still at 1-0. As Solomon is definitely on the mind of the pitcher, Patrick Peterson from Dartmouth College, the Ivy Leaguer. That one's going to be foul behind us. Here comes the 1-1. After that one was fouled away from Austin Orr. And we'll do it at 1-1 with 1 out here. Lee Solomon on first base. Peterson from the stretch. Here's the 1-1. That was swung and missed. That one up top high, and Orr couldn't hold off. Orr, the shortstop from Union University in Jackson, Tennessee, his hometown. Austin, a big Volunteers fan. 1-2 count here now, and Solomon back in plenty of time. Seen a number of pickoff attempts to first base to keep Solomon honest. 1-2 back at the plate, and here comes the 1-2, fouled away, and the hit and run looked like it was on. And we'll do it again as that one's fouled out of play towards the corn in the left side here at Grady's field.
You'd have to think it would be a hit and run because Austin can't take a strike with a 1-2 count.
See if they try to hit and run again. 1-2 count. Solomon's not on the move. That one curves, does not find that outside corner. Even up at 2-2 now. A great at bat from Austin Orr, staying alive, waiting for his pitch. 3-1 score here. The pickoff attempt. Solomon dives back in time. It's either the fourth or fifth pickoff attempt we've seen in this at bat towards Lee Solomon. Catch mark holding him on at first base. Patrick Peterson still on the rubber. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one fouled away again. Austin Orr staying alive. Let's have the Bee Gees playing in his head right now.
Really?
Oh, yes.
To the Bee Gees?
I've been waiting to use that one all year long. Lee Solomon on first. Pickoff attempt back in time.
I did have to tell you that the Bee Gees sang that song, though.
Lance calling me out. 2-2 count for Austin Orr. Back at the plate. Lee Solomon on first base. One out here. It's 3-1 score. And another pickoff attempt. That's either 6 or 7 of this at bat. So we've seen a number of pitches to Austin Orr at the plate, a number of pickoff attempts towards first, and see if this at bat ever comes to an end. Here's the 2-2, and that one is going to be popped towards left field. See if it drops, and it will drop, and it's going to get past Calhoun, but I thought it was going to bounce deeper than it did. I originally thought Lee Solomon was going to be able to advance to third, but the bloop single from Austin Orr starts this inning off of a couple of singles, and the Scouts are in business.
And that's Austin's first hit in a long time. He came into the day with a 206 average. Doesn't have as many at-bats as a lot of players, like we mentioned. The last time he had a hit was on June 24th against the Hamilton Joes. So it's been a little while since he got on base with a hit.
Scouts with runners on first and second. Lee Solomon on second. Austin Orr on first. Christian Binger at the plate. First pitch to him outside for a ball. 1-0. After the delivery from Patrick Peterson. Those were hits 5 and 6 on the afternoon for the Scouts. Here's the 1-0, and that one swung and popped up towards foul territory. Calhoun's going to get under that one and put it away. Christian Binger is going to head back to the dugout. So now 2 outs for the Scouts after Miles Wright went down swinging to start the bottom of the fifth. A couple of singles, and then Christian Binger just flew out towards foul territory in left field.
Corner, number 16,
and here comes Kyle Carnahan.
Carnahan will come up with runners on first and second. And there is some action out in the Settlers bullpen, but with our obstructed view, can't quite tell who it is.
Looks like it's a righty, though. That we can tell you. Kyle Carnahan at the plate. Scouts down 3-1. Runners on first and second. Pearson Lacey second, throws home. That one's going to be fouled back into the black netting in front of us. Just trickles down for a foul ball.
You're obviously here for a reason. What made you want to come here?
Oh, 1 count now to Carnahan. Peterson throws, and that one misses outside. Good eye from the Boulder, Kyle Carnahan.
Kyle, of course, many nicknames. Mr. Hot Corner, Thor, the Boulder, among them.
We use the team nicknames. 1-1 with 2 outs here for the Scouts. 2 on. Here's the 1-1. That one curves, and it was fouled away from Carnahan a little late on that curveball. Scouts down to their last strike here in the bottom of the 5th inning, still trailing the Settlers by a 3-1 score. Settlers put all 3 of their runs on in the top of this 5th inning. Solomon on second or on first. Here's the 1-2. That one's going to be hit towards shortstop. Lee Solomon jumps over it, throw to first in time. Doring to catch mark, puts away the Scouts, so they threaten but leave 2 on stranded. Still losing to the Licking County Settlers by a score of 3-1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning.
So there's been 6 guys left on base for the Scouts. It's been a reoccurring theme over the last few weeks, and it could come back to haunt them here today against the Settlers as they try to go for the season sweep against the Settlers after winning last night and won both of the games up in Newark earlier on this season.
I thought that was going to do it for the day of Jordan Schaefer back in the top of the 5th inning, but he's coming back here in the top of the 6th. Thomas Wanning still warming up in the pen. Last inning, 3 runs were given up by Schaefer. Only one of them earned, as 2 came across on the error from Christian Binger. That's been the difference in this ball game. Should be a 1-1 score, but the hard hit grounder got past the usually sure-handed second baseman, and that's given the Settlers their 3-1 lead.
So you got to wonder how long the leash is for Jordan Schaefer, because Wanning was warming up most of the last inning as well. So you got to think that's the first sign of danger. Cates is going to have to pull the plug on Schaefer and go to Thomas Wanning.
Schaefer, again, has not started a baseball game this season back at Northwestern State. Always came out of the pen, had a .87 ERA, absolutely unbelievable through 10 1/3 innings pitched. And his freshman year, he was transferring to Hines Community College. And Lance, what's the site coming up for the Settlers?
For the Settlers, it'll be 4-5-6, same as it was back in inning number 2. It'll be Kyle Holbrook, then Robbie Doring, then Michael Ketchmark.
Holbrook's single last time he was up, first pitch to him, and drops in, but not quick enough. Is going to come across a little high. Counts now 1-0. Raises a knee, throws it home, and that one's going to be lined towards right center field. Levi Gilchrist picks it up. He's going to throw to second base on the fall, and it was a beautiful throw. Falling down, Levi Gilchrist pretty much on his back foot, tumbling. Made a perfect throw to second in time.
That wasn't quite the cannon that we've seen from Levi, but that's because he was falling over and actually did fall over after he made the throw. So the fact that he had enough strength to just get that to second base at all says a lot to how good of an arm he does have. Didn't get to show it off quite the way he likes to, but still a great throw to make it a play at second base.
But it is a lead-off double for Kyle Holbrook. Scouts trailing 3-1. Runner on second, no outs here in the top of the 6th inning. That first pitch is swung on and hit towards right field by Robbie Doring. Miles right, comes in. Now he's going to be throwing to third and smartly held up by Holbrook as Miles Wright shooting off the cannon he sports on his right shoulder there, and Doring thought better of it.
Next
So
up
we
to
decided
bat is the
that
first baseman,
half of
number
our outfield
19,
gets cannons now.
Michael
Some of them
Ketchmark.
get guns, some of them get cannons, some of them get hoses. It alternates, but they all got a lot of weapons in their arm arsenal. He's going to bring up Michael Ketchmark, who's 1 for 2 today. Did double back in top of the 2nd. That one's going to be lined right to the glove of Kyle Carnahan. Luckily for Holbrook, no one standing on the second base bag for him to get doubled off, but that one was just an absolute laser destined
The designated
for the
hitter,
third baseman's
15,
glove. Mr.
Zach
Hot
Camp.
Corner living up to his name.
And although Holbrook did get on with a double, Schaefer has only thrown 4 pitches so far this inning.
And that's going to bring up Zach DeCamp, who singled and scored last time. Only Settler to be given an earned run towards Schaefer. As Schaefer steps off of the bag.
That means I'm going to be a passer. But the more I like,
And he'll step back onto the rubber with a
I don't think I'm
fresh count now towards DeCamp. And that one's low in the turf for a ball. Another curve from Schaefer. Settlers up 3-1 over the Xenia Scouts here in the top of the 6th inning. Runner on second, 2 outs. Scouts back-to-back outs after a leadoff double from Kyle Holbrook. Here's the 1-0. That one also in the turf. Good block from Dave Gaunt. Of course, Dave Gaunt earlier this year got a call from the Texas Rangers interested in drafting him. Turned them down. He wanted to play his senior year at Washburn University. Heard Davis' story multiple times this year, and absolutely incredible. And definitely major league talent here in Xenia, Ohio. 2-0 count now to DeCamp. That one's going to be hit high in the sky towards Miles right. And he'll put it away, and that will end the top of the 6th inning. So the Settlers threaten with a leadoff double from Kyle Holbrook. They go down in order right after that as Robbie Doran flies out to right. Michael Ketchmark lines out to third base, and then Zach DeCamp follows his shortstop teammate Doring and flies out to right as well.
That's the kind of inning you needed if you were Schaefer. After giving up 3 back in inning number 5, you get all those guys to go down after allowing Holbrook to get on with the double. So a very low pitch count inning there for Schaefer. Doesn't necessarily mean he will be back out there for the 7th, though.
It does make it a possibility. That's for sure. As not many pitches thrown by Schaefer. Going into the at-bat against DeCamp, he has 66 thrown, so he should be at
Through 7 that inning.
through 7 that inning. So for the bat against DeCamp. So the last batter that got out, he was at 66, and he threw 3 to DeCamp, so that should put him at 69. So definitely within reason to keep him out there if Coach Cates would choose to do so.
Yeah, it really just depends what you want to do if you're Coach Cates, because like we said, if you struggled in inning number 5, but was able to get the most of the batters to go down in inning number 6 after allowing Holbrook to get on with his leadoff double. Holbrook 2 for 3 tonight to extend his hitting streak.
So Lance was the side commander for the Scouts, down 3-1 against the Sellers here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, for the Scouts, it'll be David Gaunt to lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th. Then it'll be Jonathan Bravo and Levi Gilcrease.
Gaunt walked the last time he was up. First pitch to him is going to be hit to deep left field. It is going, and off the pole. The Gorilla is off the pole. I was going to say gone, but it stayed in the field. A little mixed up here in the booth. But David Gaunt with the solo shot on the first pitch. Just driven that one out to left field. Makes this a 1-run ball game with his 6th dinger of the year.
Nothing like breaking your slump with the first pitch home run that hits off that left field foul pole. Like I said, that'll be his 6th home run on the season. 26 RBIs. Now that just brings him 1 home run shy of breaking the Scouts record. Just tied it with that blast.
First pitch to Jonathan Bravo is for a strike at the plate. 3-2 score now after the home run from Gaunt. Now 6 on the year. Went off the league lead. 0-1 pitch to Bravo. That one's going to be lined towards shortstop. Dorian picks it up, throws to first. In time by a nose hair as Jonathan Bravo is going to be sat down. Just barely got him.
And I can tell that Bravo didn't agree with that call because he ran away from the play. He tends to do that if he thinks it's a questionable call to make sure he doesn't say something he regrets.
So a 6-3 as Robbie Dorian was able to spurn that one down. He struggled getting into his grips of his wrist and threw it to first on a bullet. Just got Jonathan Bravo as Levi Gilcrease steps up to the dish. And that one's going to be shot towards third. Picked up by Hickey on the first pitch. Thrown to first. Safe! As Ketchmark's foot was not on the bag, we saw him lay out for it. Had the ball in plenty of time. It's going to be another error on Hickey, his 2nd of the day.
Number 34, Wyatt Hogan.
Thought he must have gotten that foot on the base because after he laid down, he kind of laid there and looked at the umpire like, hey, I think my foot might be on, but apparently no dice, says the field umpire, for his 2nd questionable call in a row.
3-2 score right now. Scouts put 1 on here in the bottom of the 6th inning with 1 out. David Gaunt led off the bottom of the 6th with that solo home run, his 6th of the season. Sellers scored all 3 of their runs back in the top of the 5th inning. 2 of those came across on the air on Christian Binger that scored 2. Scouts started the scoring off in this contest back in the bottom of the 1st when Kyle Carnahan had an RBI single. Levi Gilcrease on first base. Wyatt Hogan at the plate. Here comes the throw. In there for a strike to Wyatt Hogan.
And the first 3 batters of this inning each swinging on the first pitch is why it takes strike 1 there.
1 out here. Levi Gilcrease on first. Double play ball in effect. Wyatt Hogan hitting to double plays his first 2 at-bats. That one curves back in the zone. A beautiful pitch from Patrick Peterson here in his 6th inning of action. Again, we saw back in the 5th inning, Sellers had some activity in their bullpen. Have not made the move quite yet. Payoff attempt. Gilcrease back in there at first. Gilcrease 1 for 3 today, but has been on twice. Kevin Hickey with 2 errors for the Settlers over there at third. 0-2 now away, and Gilcrease is on the move. That one's outside. Gilcrease is in there easily. As safe is never called on the infield umpire, but I think he just must have known it was so. Not even a close play.
The tag wasn't applied.
So stolen base for Levi.
That'll be
Gilcrease.
Levi's 6th steal on the year. Puts him 2nd on the team, I believe.
So now runner in scoring position. Scouts down 3-2 here in the bottom of 6, and that one's going to be hit high in the air. And after stumbling around a little bit, Dustin Lee puts it away. So 2 down now in the bottom of the 6th. Wyatt Hogan goes down for his 3rd time today.
Actually, Levi will be
Miles
3rd on
Wright.
the team in steals. Miles has 7 steals, so puts him in 3rd on the team after being tied with Binger and Bravo at 5.
And here comes Miles Wright. He's 1 for 2 today. Strikeout looking. A start bottom of the 5th inning, and Coach Norrell is coming out to talk to his starter, Patrick Peterson, who's gone 5 2/3 now. I don't see anyone coming out of the pen yet for the Settlers.
I would think this is just to get them some more warm-ups if Miles does in fact get on base.
That's a 3-2 score here at Grady's Field. The Scouts trying to come back against the Licking County Settlers. Two outs, runner on second base. Miles Wright, a chance to tie up this ball game. Here comes the first throw from Peterson. That went in the turf for a ball. So 1-0 to the right fielder from Katy Taylor High School and St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. Levi Gilcrease from Baylor University on second. That one outside as well. Counted out 2-0. 7 hits apiece for both of these squads. 3-2 lead for the Licking County Settlers. Levi Gilcrease in scoring position, just waiting for Miles Wright to send him home. Here comes the next pitch. That one misses as well. 3-0 now to Miles, who will clearly be taking on this pitch from Peterson.
I think Miles might have actually thought the count was what it was up on the big board, as I think he had to ask for what the count was.
Levi Gilcrease on second. Here comes the 3-0, and that one in there for a strike. So now 3-1. Miles clearly taking that one. See if he takes here again at 3-1. 3-2 lead for the Licking County Settlers. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the 3-1. That one up high, and Miles draws the walk. Gets on for the 2nd time today.
Next up to
That'll
bat,
be Miles'
your
10th
Xenia
walk
Scouts.
on the season.
Shortstop number 3, Lee Solomon.
And there will be a meeting in the infield, and it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. See the pitcher strolling there, sitting around first base now. The runners on first and second.
Looks like Delavella, but I'm not sure. Number 16. I'm pretty sure that's Delavella.
I think you're right, Lance.
Yep, it is Delavella.
Perry Delavella coming into the contest strikes fear into the hearts of Lance and I, because we know he has 31 strikeouts on the year compared to 1 walk. That's a 31-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Yeah, Delaval has been
Attention fans,
fantastic
entering the game to
on the
pitch,
season. Has a
Licking
1-2
County
record.
Settlers. Number 16,
1.1
Perry
ERA.
Delabella.
This week has 11
Delabella
appearances.
entering the game
Has
to
one
pitch
save,
for
16.1
the
innings
Licking
pitched.
County Settlers.
Like you said, 31 strikeouts to just 1 walk. And that 1 walk was in their very first game against the Lake Erie Monarchs.
So Patrick Peterson goes 5 2/3 here today. Gives up 2 runs, both of them earned.
Also finished the day with 4 walks and 4 strikeouts.
Actually, only one of them earned because Lee Solomon got on with an error before he was sent home. A 1 earned run for Patrick Peterson as Perry Delavella. I just mentioned his 1-2 record. That's because he's been relieving all year long, second on the team in innings pitched out of the pen. Very impressive. Usually see starters up there. A very deep Settlers pitching staff. And now we put in another tough spot with 2 outs. He's going to be facing the top of the Scouts order with Lee Solomon, who singled in his last appearance.
And the other loss on the season, he had one against the Joes the other night, was against the Scouts when he came in relief.
It's a new hitter.
Here comes Lee Solomon to the plate. Levi Gilcrease on second. Miles Wright on first. A whole lot of speed in this infield for the Scouts. First pitch. Misses low for a ball to Solomon.
Solomon 1 for 3 on the day, did reach on an error in inning number 1 and came around to score the first run of the day for the Scouts.
And that one misses outside for a ball. Count is now 2-0. The 3-2 lead here.
The score on the Point Street says it's 2-2. Yeah. Okay. No, it's all good.
Here comes the 2-0 to Solomon. That one checked, but doesn't matter. It's in there anyway. Count is now 2-1. Again, Delavella with only 1 walk in the year compared to 31 strikeouts. I'm guessing we're going to see a couple more pitches in the zone. The pitcher from Seton Hill University in Pennsylvania. Here's the 2-1. Swung and missed. Solomon might have just barely tipped that one back in the glove of Woody Wallace. Even up at 2-2 regardless, with 2 runners on. Right on first. Gilcrease on second. Scouts down 3-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes that 2-2. And great eye by Lee Solomon, as that one was close, but a little bit low and a little bit away.
A very close pitch to take with 2 strikes up.
Absolutely just unbelievable poise by Lee. We've seen it from the Scouts all year long. Full count now to Lee. Here's the payoff pitch, and that one is low. The 2nd walk of the year from Perry Delavella, and the first does his first game of the season. Unbelievable.
Now batting the designated hitter,
And the last 2
9,
pitchers
Austin
better for a walk.
Moore.
So this is about as speedy as a bases loaded situation as you can imagine for the Xenia Scouts. As Austin Orr comes up to the plate, he singled last time. First pitch, inside corner Orr. Count is now 0-1.
Or is 1 for 2 today, had a walk back in the 3rd inning.
Scouts down 3-2. Can tie or take the lead here on a single from Austin Orr. Imagine would take the lead with Miles Wright sitting at second base. In my opinion, the 3 fastest players on the team for the Xenia Scouts on first, second, and third right now.
I'd have to agree with that statement, except for that Bravo's not out there. He could contend for 2nd and 3rd. I think Levi's right there for 1.
I think Levi and Lee have the biggest argument for first, and then you have a few players after that, but Miles Wright right there up there, the speedster from St. Edwards. Lee Solomon on first, Levi Gilcrease on third. 0-1 count. Austin Orr at the plate. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That one outside misses from Delavella, evens it up at 1 apiece in this crucial point of this fixture. Last 2 batters have been walked. 1 for Peterson, 1 from Delavella. Here's the 1-1. That one's lined but foul. That was a rope that went out of play.
Yeah, it was very nicely hit by Austin Orr. Just didn't quite time it up right. And if he can straighten that out, that can be right down in left field for a base hit.
Scouts down to the last strike. Can't afford to leave 3 runners on. Here comes the pitch, and that one's well inside. What a block from Woody Wallace. That was a game-tying pass ball that could have went towards the backstop here, the deep backstop at Grady's field. Levi Gilcrease chomping at the bit to get to that one. 2-2 with 2 outs, bases loaded for the designated hitter, Austin Orr. Della Vella from the stretch winds and delivers, and that one's going to be blooped in fair play to left field. And here comes Miles Wright. It's going to be a throw at the plate, and he is safe. Throw to third. Out! Lee Solomon out at third, but not before 2 runs are singled home by Austin Orr. And the Scouts retake the lead.
So a bit unfortunate there for Solomon to be out at third trying to advance on the plate because it looked like it would stay at the plate a little longer than it did. I think that's the only reason Solomon was able to be thrown out at third. And one of the old adages is you don't want to make the first or the third out of the inning at third, but Scouts did add on to their total and retake the lead at 4-3. And
So-
Schaefer's going to be back out there.
Schaefer's coming back out for his 7th inning of action. Ben Aldridge yesterday went 7 innings strong, and as we mentioned, Schaefer's pitch count not that high, so he can do it. He's only given up 1 earned run. It should be a 4-1 score right now. Score is 4-3. Xenia Scouts with the lead. It was a 2-run error on the part of Christian Binger that gave the Sellers their original lead. Scouts put across 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Start off with that solo shot from David Gaunt, his 6th homer of the year. Levi Gilcrease came on with an error, so I guess that one won't be earned to Patrick Peterson. But the run from Miles Wright, who was walked on by Peterson, will be earned back to him. So, in that inning, 2 runs came across after Perry Vella came into the game. Neither of those will be earned towards him, though. And that gives us a 4-3 lead for the
Leading
Scouts.
off for the Settlers is the catcher, number 10, Woody Wallace.
So 2 of those runs earned to Peterson, the other 2 unearned. So still Delavella didn't have his ERA messed with after coming in.
And here's the first pitch from Schaefer to Woody Wallace in there for a strike.
Wallace will lead off this inning, and then it'll be Kevin Hickey, then back to the top of the order in Tanner Johnson.
Next pitch is that one's we line back towards us, so quickly Schaefer working on Woody Wallace, who scored the last time he was up. He scored on that error from Christian Binger. Now down 0-2. He flew out to Jonathan Bravo in left back in the 3rd inning before that single last time up. That one is flown high in the sky. Wallace spikes his back down again, and Christian Binger calls off Wyatt Hogan and puts it away. 1 down here in the top of the 7th inning. 4-3 Scouts.
So that'll help out Schaefer's pitch count here in the 7th inning. 0-2, and then was able to get
Rounding out
Wallace
the
to pop
7th
out
order is the third
towards
baseman,
Christian
number
Binger
7.
over at second. Wyatt Hogan originally under that,
Kevin
and then
Hickey.
called off by Christian.
An unbelievable start for Jordan Schaefer. Here comes the first pitch, and that was swung on and missed. Kevin Hickey chases the high heater, but is well behind it. 0-1 now to the 3rd baseman looking for his first hit today. Here comes the 0-1 from Schaefer, and that one's going to be fouled out of play towards the bullpen, and the golf cart sitting over there. So it's 0-2 now. So Schaefer working fast here in the top of the 7th inning, going up 0-2 on both of the first batters. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that one's going to be popped up high. Miles Wright cover that one and put it away. Cam McCorn for the right fielder. So 2 up, 2 down on 6 pitches.
And Schaefer working very well against both Wallace and Hickey. Got up on them 0-2, and that had each of them
Next up,
fly out for the
batter,
first 2
center
outs
fielder, number
of
8,
this inning.
Tanner Johnson.
That's going to bring us to the top of the order for the Licking County Sellers. And Tanner Johnson is 2 for 3 today. He's had a solid afternoon at the plate. First pitch to him. This is a bit low First ball of the 7th inning from Jordan Schaefer.
Johnson is 2 for 3 on the day with 1 RBI.
And Schaefer brushes a few of those pellets off of his cleats. He wears those gray cleats, works from the windup. Here comes the 1-0. That one's going to be chopped past Schaefer. Bounces towards Binger at second. Thrown to first in time. So 1, 2, 3. Quick inning for Schaefer here in the top of the 7th. Scouts up 4-3 going to the bottom after the 7th inning stretch.
And you got to think that there's a chance that Schaefer could come back out for the 8th inning after working as quickly as he did through the 7th.
Never know. This is going to be the last time we see Jordan Schaefer for a
All right,
while.
fans, you know what time it is. Your Xenia Scouts invite you to
As
stand
Perry
up, stretch
Dellavella
your
comes
legs,
back to
and
the
sing
mound.
along to our plan to take me out to the ball game here during the 7th inning stretch.
Scouts up by a 4-3 score. Here at Grady's field. Scouts went up 1-0 back in the 1st inning. An RBI single from Kyle Carnahan scored Lee Solomon, who started off the hitting for the Scouts, getting on with air from Kevin Hickey, who has 2 on the day. Then back in the top of the 5th, the Settlers put 3 on the board. Woody Wallace started, Zach DeCamp started off with a single, followed by Woody Wallace. DeCamp was singled home by Tanner Johnson. Then Johnson and Wallace are both hit home from Dylan Calhoun, who had a 2 RBI error after the ball bounced out of the glove of Christian Binger. Scouts were down 3-1, and then they went to the bottom of the 6th inning. Scouts put 3 on in that inning to retake the lead 4-3. David Gaunt of a solo shot.
Second base
And then
number 4, Christian Binger.
2 RBI single from Austin Orr. So Christian Binger coming up to the plate. First pitch well inside for a ball from Dellavella. Remember, we saw only the 2nd walk of the season from Dellavella. Second pitch in there for a strike. Counts now 1-2 to Binger. Oh, 1-2 pitch is going to be chopped towards the pitcher. And a collision at the plate, and Christian Binger is going to be on with an infield single. That one took a weird bounce off of the pellets.
Now batting is the cleanup hitter, third baseman number 16, Kyle Carnahan.
As Kyle Carnahan comes up to the plate. Christian Binger on first with that single. Another hit given up by Perry Dellavella, who is struggling a bit in this outing. As Kyle Carnahan shows bunt, pulls back, that one goes for a ball.
Carnahan is 1 for 3 on the day. Did have a run batted in back in the 1st inning.
So Washburn with 2 RBIs in this contest, as David has one on that solo shot. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Big hack from Kyle Carnahan. Christian Binger sitting over there on first base. He's 1 for 3 today with a walk. Kyle Carnahan at the plate. 4-3 Scouts here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Next pitch in there, right down the center for a strike. 1-2 now to Kyle Carnahan. (4-3) score. Scouts trying to hang on for the 2nd win of the year. Pick off attempt. Binger. Take a win in a row. I believe I said on the year. That would be wrong. 15 wins on the year. They're 15-12 coming into today's contest, trying to get to 16-12 and get the season sweep over the 3-time defending champion Licking County Settlers. That one's hit high and out of play from Mr. Hot Corner Kyle Carnahan. Scouts with 9 hits on the game, compared to 7 of the Settlers. Errors have come into effect. Settlers with 2, Scouts with 1, but it was costly, and that one's going to be chopped towards Hickey at third. He's going to lick at second, but just make the throw to first to catch Mark. Smart plays. Binger was in there in plenty of time. So Carnahan is put down. Bud originally came up there showing you bunt, so you think he's trying to throw a sack bunt out in play, and that grounder works just as effectively.
Yeah, we've seen Carnahan bunt for a single before, but it looked like he was probably just trying to sacrifice early on in the at-bat, but as he fell down behind in the count 1-2, just had to put his best swing as he could on the ball and hit it towards Hickey at third, who has struggled today, does have 2 errors, but was able to get it over catch mark in time for the first out of the inning.
That's going to bring in Dave Agon, who homered off of Patrick Peterson last time. First baseman Della Vella gets by him. 0-1 now to Dave Agon, who's 1 for 2 today with that homer. Here comes the pitch, and that one misses outside from Della Vella. Evened up at 1-1 with 1 out. 1 runner on second base is Christian Binger. Scouts up 4-3. The Baby Blues. It's been a back and forth contest. Scouts went up early, then trail 3-1. Now up 4-3, and here comes that 1-1. That one low in the turf. Wallace backhands it, makes it 2-1 now to Dave Agon. Playing catcher today, we see Dave Agon rotated out of the catcher spot with Lincoln Reed and Zach Wiley, but always in the mixture. If he's not playing catcher, you know you'll see him at DH. 2-1 to David now. That one in there for a strike. Evened up at 2-2. David had a 3-2 count back in the 4th inning. Patrick Peterson, and which resulted in a walk. It was eventually straightened on second. Christian Binger on second now here in the bottom of the 7th. Swung and missed. Gaunt goes down swinging for the second time in this contest, and Della Vella gets his 32nd strikeout of the year.
Next up to the plate for the Scouts, left fielder number 7, Johnny Bravo.
That's going to bring up Jonathan Bravo. Richard Binger on second. 2 outs here. Scouts trying to extend their 1-run lead. As Della Vella steps off the rubber, Christian Binger scampers back to second base. In the scoring position. Here comes the pitch. Bravo checks, but it's in there on the outside corner anyway for a strike.
Bravo 1 for 3 on the day, had to hit back in the 4th inning, but he somehow muscled out into left field, struck out back in the 1st inning.
Grounded to short last time he was up. 0-1 count now to Bravo. That one a little bit low for a ball, now evened up at 1 apiece. Christian Binger on second. He got on to start this bottom of the 7th inning with a single. It was an infield single as the ball barely went past home plate, then took a couple weird bounces for Della Vella. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be chopped over towards third, but fouled. Right in front of the eyes of Bubba Cates and Kevin Hickey over there at third base. So 1-2 now to Bravo. Scouts down to her last strike of the inning. But last time the Scouts were down to their last strike of the inning, Austin Orr came up with a 2 RBI single. 1-2 count now to the Ram from Texas Wesleyan. That one low in the turf. Jonathan Bravo takes for a 2-2 count now as that ball went low. 2-2, 2 outs. Runner on second base for Jonathan Bravo. Perry Della Vella looks at second. From the stretch, he throws. That one well outside, somehow stopped by Woody Wallace. That one was well in the turf. Into the rundown pellets.
And you can't say enough about the job he's been doing behind the plate. Has done a great job preventing many wild pitches and passed balls. And a couple of them would have just advanced the runners. A couple of them would have scored a few Scouts.
So yesterday, we saw DiMatteo let a myriad of balls get by him towards the backside. Today, Woody Wallace think they made a good choice to let him catch those pitchers at the home run derby, and that one's going to be hit high, high, high in the sky. Jonathan Bravo flies out to second, and Dustin Lee looks like he struggled with that one, maybe in the lights, and that's going to end the inning for the Xenia Scouts. Christian Binger singles, gets the second on the ground out from Kyle Carnahan, but after David Gaunt struck out for the second time today, a fly out to second from Jonathan Bravo leaves another runner on.
And Jordan Schaefer's going to be back out there.
Jordan Schaefer.
And Terry just flew up his head like he was so surprised. I said that, and he just shot up to look out and make sure it was Schaefer, to make sure I wasn't lying.
Folks, back in the 5th inning, when the Settlers put 3 runs on the board, I thought there was a chance that Schaefer's going to be taken out. Back then, Coach Case showed faith in the two-way player, the shortstop that we saw starting yesterday, today getting his first start on the mound. And is he getting a start or what? About to start his 8th inning. He's only given up 1 earned run, 3 runs total, 7 hits in this contest. Has a couple of strikeouts. It's been an unbelievable day for Jordan Schaefer.
Yeah, Schaefer's had a fantastic day. He struggled back in that 5th inning. He might have been taken out in that 5th inning, but was able to work out of the jam. And he's done a great job here today in his first start of the season.
Second baseman, number 5, Dustin.
That's going to bring up Dustin Lee and Lance. What's the side come up after Lee for the Settlers here in the top of the 8th?
After Dustin Lee, it'll be their 3-4 hitters with Dylan Calhoun and Kyle Holbrook.
First pitch to Lee. In there for a strike. 0-1 count now to Lee, and we saw in the last inning Schaefer getting up early on these Settler batters. 0-1 pitch. Bunt attempt laid down by Lee. Picked up by Gaunt. Throw to first. Way out as Wyatt Hogan jumping towards it takes out Dustin Lee. I don't know if there's going to be interference called or if it's going to be inadvertent. That's going to be a bunt single for Dustin Lee. He was absolutely taken out by Wyatt Hogan. They will not rule interference as that one bounced in the right field. Coach Case came out, but just steps back in to the Scouts dugout. So bunt single given up. 8th hit of the game given up by Schaefer. Next pitch, another bunt. This one rolls down the first base line. They're going to let it go foul. Almost a perfectly laid down bunt from Calhoun.
So they see the different fielding for the Scouts, and that forces the bunt from Lee that he got on for a hit, and then Calhoun tries to lay one down. Just barely went foul on that first base line.
On 1 count now. Tying run standing on first base, and Dustin Lee, Jordan Schaefer here in his 8th inning of action. He's thrown 7 strong. Another bunt shown. That one misses outside. Evened up at 1-1. One and 1 count to Dylan Calhoun, the left fielder from North Alabama. 0 for 3 today. Bunt pulled away. Threatens to throw to first base, but pulls back on the pump fake. 2-1 now with Dustin Lee sitting over there on the first base bag.
And I got to think that the runners are more concerned with what Gaunt will do than what Schaefer will do.
Schaefer on the mound, throws home. That one, the bunt's going to be laid down in play. Schaefer picks it up, throws the first to the sac bunt. Laid down perfectly from Dylan Calhoun. He stays 0 for 3 today with that sac bunt, and they'll advance Dustin Lee to second base. The Settlers playing small ball here in the top of the 8th inning.
And that's what you got to do if you're the Settlers, and you've had Calhoun struggling today as your 3-hitter, like you mentioned. 0 for 3 up to that point, and then has the sacrifice bunt, and that moves Dustin Lee over to second with the best hitter right now for the Settlers coming up to the plate in Holbrook, who is 2 for 3 today, and that's going to draw a meeting on the mound from Coach Cates.
And Holbrook, 16-game hitting streak now. He's going to meet out with Jordan Schaefer for the second time today. Thomas Wanning in the pen. Hasn't been called out, though, so he has a match going on the stage with Schaefer, who's pitched 7 1/3 today.
You got his song ready?
Yeah, Bad Blood, right?
Bad Blood.
Has he gotten to come out to yet?
Oh, I don't think
Now
so.
stick with Jordan Schaefer on the mound.
Our internet probably. This can be
The Louisiana man
some mistake.
trying to get out of the top of the 8th inning here.
He kind of put that little draw on that when he said Louisiana man.
I try my best, but it also has to do with my voice is beginning to fade away
that's,
here
That's true.
in the top of the 8th inning. Runner on second base. Schaefer with the throw towards home, and that one is low and in the turf. 1-0 now to the hot-hitting Kyle Holbrook. Righty Schaefer against the lefty Kyle Holbrook. Scouts hanging on by thread to this 4-3 lead. 1-0 pitch. That one's flown up. Lee Solomon calling everyone off, and it's going to be confusion. Levi Gilcrease makes the play. Lee Solomon, Christian Binger, Levi Gilcrease all converging on that one, but Levi Gilcrease calls everyone off and makes the jumping catch in very shallow center field.
I really thought that was going to be trouble
Now
for the
up to the
Scouts.
plate,
Didn't
shortstop
think,
number 3,
looked like Lee Solomon was
Robbie
going back to the
Gordon.
ball. Didn't have his eyes on it. Looked like he lost that one up in the sky. Luckily, Gilcrease came down, called everybody off, got everyone out of the way in time to avoid any collisions and record the out.
That's going to be Robbie Doring. And Miles Wright will put that one away in right field, and Doring flies out for the 4th time in this contest. And again, not very long inning from Jordan Schaefer. Could we see him in the 9th? We don't know. They'll
I
have
don't know
to.
about that.
If you're watching at home, we got to stick around to find out.
Yeah, bring him out for the 9th.
All right, saying we're getting word from our
You gotta bring him out for the 9th.
stat guru, Jeff Connor, that he's at 83 pitches. So there's a shot they could bring him out. We'll see what happens here. As Perry Delavella, we know, will be coming out for the Sellers here in the bottom of the 8th. Scouts up 4-3 with love to give some insurance runs going to the top of 9th, where whoever comes out to the mound for the Baby Blues.
Coming up in this inning for the Scouts, it'll be 7-8-9. Levi Gilcrease will lead it off. He's 1 for 3 on the day. That one was an error towards Hickey at third on a very strange play that Ketchmark was just laying on the ground, thought he topped the bag, but apparently wasn't so, and Gilcrease also popped out on a bunt, was back in the 4th, but did have a nice double on the first pitch he saw in the 2nd inning. Then it'll be Wyatt Hogan. He's grounded into a pair of double plays tonight, one of the fly-out variety, one of the ground-out variety. Also flew out to Lee over at second. Then it'll be Miles Wright. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He had a hit back in the 2nd inning and was caught stealing in that same inning. Then he was struck out looking in the 5th inning and then walked in the 6th inning and came around to score.
Levi Gilcrease was one of those 2 runs batted home on the single from Austin Orr. He was the first of the 2. Miles Wright was the other. He also stole a base back in that 6th inning. Now in the bottom of the 8th, Scouts up 4-3. First pitch to Levi, swung on and fouled high in the air. Hickey will give it chase, and it will fly out of play, just barely. Bounces off the walking pass over there by third base, and it'll be 0-1 now to Levi.
And Levi wanted that one so much he was a little early on it and just barely tapped that one out of play. He was really saw that one well, just was too far out in front of it.
Delavella working from the windup. Pitch to Levi, swung on and miss. Gilcrease a big swing at that one. So 0-2 now to Levi. And here comes the pitch, and swung and missed. And that one was in the turf, but a high throw. Levi is safe at first on the drop third strike. Woody Wallace's throw was errant. Got Ketchmark off the bag, and Levi Gilcrease with the hustle gets the first on the drop third strike.
So Levi strikes out for his league-leading 32nd time, but the ball gets away from the glove of Woody Wallace, and then an errant throw to Catchmark will result in Levi being safe over at first.
So Wyatt Hogan at the dish now. He's 0 for 3 today. Since a double plays twice. Now showing bunt. Pulls it back and tips it backwards. Levi Gilcrease is on the move.
That was a nice idea that when you show bunt and pull it back and swing, you already have everything all ready. So just wasn't able to time that one up as that one flew back into the netting in front of us.
Let's make it 0-1 now to Wyatt Hogan after another unusual way to get on base for Levi Gilcrease. He stands over there at first. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and miss from Hogan. 0-2 now. Levi did steal back in that 6th inning. Steve is on the move here. Back in time on the pickoff attempt from Perry Delavella.
Still has another step or two over at first as he was able to get back without having to step.
Scouts up 4-3. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. By Gilcrease on first. Here comes the 0-2. That one's hit high in the air, popped up towards right field. Holbrook's coming in. No, be put away. And second base by Dustin Lee in shallow right field. Now Wyatt's going to be 0 for 4 in the contest after flying out to second base for the second straight time.
Miles Wright.
I was going to bring out Miles Wright. He's 1 for 2 in this contest. A single and a walk. Gilcrease on first. As a ball, looks like it comes in from the Settlers bullpen.
How bad did you miss that it lines up behind home plate?
Like that. That's exactly like that.
I won't bring that pitcher in then.
Perry
That's
Delavella.
just my opinion.
Perry Delavella came into this game back in the 6th inning with 2 outs after Patrick Pearson went 5 2/3. Another pickoff attempt towards Gilcrease at first. It's back in there, safe. So he's pitch 1 2/3 inning. Next out will be a complete 2 innings for Delavella. First pitch to right, swung on and missed. Heater gets by the right fielder, Miles Wright.
Definitely a lot of heat on that one from Delavella.
Delavella with 32. Make that 33 strikeouts on the year now. Second most in the league. Now leads his team at Braden Boucher. That one right down the middle for a strike. Miles Wright caught looking at that one. 0-2 now to the right fielder. Down to his last strike.
Just like Schaefer was doing a couple innings ago, working fast and getting the batters behind 0-2, he's done the same thing with each of the batters he's faced so far.
Levi Gilcrease on first base. Got on with a drop third strike. That one a little bit low. Good poise from Miles Wright to not chase that one. Wyatt Hogan flew out to second in shallow right field for the Scouts lone out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They lead 4-3 over the Licking County Settlers, the 3-time defending Great Lakes League champion. Scouts going for the season sweep over them. Levi's on the move. That one's foul behind us on the hit and run. And we'll do it again now. 1-2 to Miles Wright.
So the Scouts still want to get an insurance run on the board as tried to have the hit and run on there between Miles and Levi. Miles just wasn't able to put that one in play.
Scouts trying to get their second consecutive victory here at Grady's Field after yesterday getting their first win at home since a doubleheader against the Galleon Graders last Sunday. Another pickoff attempt to Levi Gilcrease in easily as he slides back to first base. Beautiful night now. It was gray and cloudy earlier, but dark blue skies with Old Glory waving in right field. 1-2 count now to Miles Wright. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped over towards third base, and Hickey throws to second and just gets Levi Gilcrease. Very risky play from the third baseman.
The shortstop, number 3.
But he does get the lead out
Sullivan.
just in the nick of time as Miles writes on for fielder's choice.
And I really thought he was messing up by going over to second for that out, trying to get the force. Didn't look like he had enough time. Just was able to get that in the nick of time, like you said, to get Levi over at second.
I'm going to bring up Lee Solomon, who was walked last time by Perry Delavella. Only the second walk Delavella has had on the year, 33-2 strike out to walk ratio. That first one misses low to the shortstop from Lipscomb. He's been on 3 of 4 times today, but he's only 1 for 2 as he got on with an error and scored back in the bottom of the first inning. Flew out in the third inning to center, singled to a straight at second in the 5th, and then was walked and tagged out at third back in the 6th. 1-0 count to him now. Here it comes, and that one's a bit high. Lee Solomon stands about 5'10", one of the shorter players on the team. 2-0 with that small batter's box. Miles Wright standing on first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-0 pitch. That one in the turf, and yet again Woody Wallace makes an incredible play. He did have that bad throw to put Levi Gilcrease on earlier, but if it wasn't for the play of Woody Wallace, we've seen a number of pass balls, advanced runners for the Scouts today. So 3-0 count, and you have to imagine Lee Solomon will be taking. And he takes a strike right down the center for a strike. 3-1 now to Lee Solomon. Scouts with that 4-3 lead still. Here it comes. Blown away, second walk of the day for Lee Solomon from Perry Delavella, who came in today with 1 on the year. 33 strikeouts, 3 walks on the year.
Must be something with Lee Solomon, because walked him each time he faced him. And earlier on in the game, Lee wasn't really taking a whole lot of pitches. So does something change? As Solomon adjusted his approach at the plate, able to draw 2 walks from Perry Delavella, something no one else in this entire league can say, because he only had 1 coming into the day.
Of course, Noro comes up to talk to his ace reliever, Perry Delavella, who's in a bit of trouble in a familiar situation. Lee Solomon, Miles right on base. Austin Orr up to the plate, 2 outs. Last time this situation occurred, it was back in the 6th inning. Levi Gilcrease in that time is also on third. No longer here in the bottom of the 8th, but with the speedy right and Solomon on a well-hit ball from Austin Orr, could open up this ball game. Delavella from the stretch, looks at second, throws home. In there for a strike. Austin Orr taking that first pitch.
Austin is 2 for 3 on the day, struck out in his first plate appearance, walked in the 3rd, and then had a hit in both the 5th and the 6th.
Also 2 of the Scouts' 4 runs batted in this game. Here comes the next pitch, and that one's going to be hit towards first base hard, but catch mark in perfect position. That one hit right down the line, but a perfect defensive alignment for the Settlers puts Orr away. And what could have been very dangerous on the well-hit ball right down the line just turns into a unassisted putout for catch mark, and the Scouts leave 2 on.
And look who's walking back out to the mound.
For the 9th inning, here comes Jordan Schaefer. We have not seen a complete game this season for the Xenia Scouts. Jordan Schaefer in his first start trying to perform the first one here in game 28 of the season.
We've seen pitchers go deep into games. We saw Q went 8 innings in a pseudo start as Pasquale went out in the first inning, and then Q came in afterwards. And I think we saw Q go the distance in a 7-inning game, but not in a full 9-inning game. So this would be the first full, complete 9-inning complete game we've seen from the Scouts if Schaefer can get through this 9th inning.
I was originally against saying this on the broadcast, but I think with his performance on the mound today, I have to mention Jordan Schaefer last night lost his grandfather in a battle with cancer. Had a very emotional day of discipleship. The reason why he's coming home. Prayers out to his family if they're listening at home. And this is one of the most inspiring efforts we've seen this season for the Scouts. Jordan Schaefer trying to get the complete game victory here as he gets into inning number 9 and his first start of the year for the Xenia Scouts. Here comes Michael Ketchmark. First pitch to him. That one swung and fouled behind us. 0-1 now.
Ketchmark is 1 for 3 on the day, had a double back in inning number 2.
Here comes 0-1. That one's going to be hit to shallow right field. Wyatt Hogan able to get under it in foul territory, and 1 down. Scouts are 2 outs away from victory. Zach DeCamp steps up to the dish.
15, Zach DeCamp.
He's 1 for 3 today, has scored one of those 3 settler runs that came across in the 5th inning.
And had a very high average coming into the day with 362. Also has 2 home runs and 14 RBIs on the season.
First pitch from Schaefer. Curves a bit high for a ball. Count is now 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one also same location. 2-0. Schaefer working pretty quickly here in his 9th inning of action. Coach K showing great faith in his pitcher. That one hits the top of the strike zone. 2-1 now against DeCamp. Here's the delivery, and that one's flat out to the same location. Hogan and Wright. Wright will call him off and put it away. 2 down. Scouts are an out away from their 2nd straight win and the season sweep of the 3-time defending league champion Licking County Settlers.
And they'll have to get by, just like Lincoln Reed's the veteran of the Scouts. Woody Wallace, a veteran of the Settlers. This is his 3rd season
The
with the
catcher,
Settlers.
number 10, Woody
He did
Wallace.
single and score back in the 5th. Jordan Schaefer with a heavy heart going for the complete game. First pitch. That one's low, gets past David Gaunt for a ball as it travels back to the backstop. Count is 1-0.
Wallace 1 for 3 on the day, had a hit and came around to score back in the 5th.
Here comes the wind and delivery from Schaefer. That one misses inside for a ball. 2-0. Now to Woody Wallace. Kevin Hickey on deck for the Settlers. Scouts lead 4-3 here in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. 2-0 pitch. Swung and chopped towards Lee Solomon at short. He flubs it. An error on Lee Solomon that would have ended the game. 2nd error of the day for the Scouts.
All good. All good. You got 2 outs. Still 2 outs.
So yeah, there's still 2 outs, and Wallace will be on with the error, but that brings up Kevin Hickey, who's 0 for 3 on the day.
This is
The last batter of the lineup for the Licking County Settlers.
And there's going to be a pinch hitter.
pinch hitter, yeah.
We're going to have a pitch hitter as Hickey has struggled so much today.
And I know we saw 6 yesterday. It's Chad Wagner. He played left field last
Pinch hitting
night.
for the Settlers.
So Chad Wagner
Number 6, Chad
coming into the
Wagner.
game for Kevin
Wagner,
Hickey.
Pinch hitting.
That's how
for the
Chad
Licking
do at the
County
plate yesterday.
Settlers.
Yesterday, Chad Wagner hit behind Zach DeCamp and went 1 for 4, had a couple flyouts, and had a base hit in the 4th.
So Woody Wallace gets on first on the error for Lee Solomon. The 2nd costly error of the game for the Scouts. Christian Binger's error cost them 2 runs. See what Lee Solomon's cost him. First pitch, outside, good backhand at the dish from David Gaunt to pick up that ball out of the turf. Jordan Schaefer with a heavy heart trying to get this complete game victory in his first start of the season. 1-0 pitch. That one swung on, chopped over towards third base. Carnahan picks up, throws to first, and is off the glove of Wyatt Hogan. Bounces behind him. And there will be runners on 2nd and 3rd. So back-to-back errors for the Scouts.
No, Bubba, don't do it.
And you have to feel for Jordan Schaefer as they were two great balls. Are they going to replace Schaefer here with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning?
I gotta think they just have to settle him down. Haven't seen him move over to the bullpen. And at this point, you just gotta go with him with 2 down, and 2 of those plays were just crazy plays that have seemed to only happen to the Scouts in the 9th inning. Error from Lee Solomon at short, and then an error from Carnahan at third. Each of them looked like it could be the game-ending play. Each of them resulted in the guys getting on base. So I'll have to face Tanner Johnson to try and get this final out to make sure nothing else happens here in the top of the 9th.
Runners on second and third. Scouts up 4-3. They sure do like to make it interesting. All the drama in this one. Jordan Schaefer, on the day after he lost his grandfather, trying to get the complete game victory, the first of the year for the Scouts. He's been an absolute warrior out there on the rubber. As Tanner Johnson, who's batting 2 for 4 today, has 2 singles and an RBI. So a nice day at the plate against Schaefer represents the last out for the Scouts, and they're going to keep Schaefer on, pitching from the windup. Here comes that first pitch, and that one a bit high. Good frame job from David Gaunt. They rule a bit too close to the attic. 1-0 now to Johnson. Here comes the pitch. That one a bit low. Just barely missing the strike zone at 2-0 to Tanner Johnson, the center fielder. The drama is building here at Grady's Field. 2-0 from Schaefer. That one misses, and the pass ball is going to tie up the game. We're going to have a bottom of the 9th inning, folks. Sellers tie this one off after errors from Lee Solomon and Kyle Carnahan have extended this game. That one, of course, unearned. To Jordan Schaefer, he has 4 runs given up, only 1 of them earned in this contest. Lead run over at third. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that one in there for a strike to Tanner Johnson. 3-1 now. Pass ball has Chad Wagner on third base. 3-1 pitch in there for a strike. We're full, folks. 3-2 here. Payoff pitch incoming to Tanner Johnson with the game in the balance. Wines delivers. That one's hit right up the middle. Levi Gilcrease going to make a play. Diving catch. He makes it. Levi Gilcrease with the save from center field. The graceful dive before the ball hit the pellets. We're going to the bottom 9th, 4-4.
And that probably just saved this game, as Hickey would have been able to score on that one. Would have put the Settlers in the lead. They do get a run in that inning to tie it up, but all the momentum now just shifts back to the Scouts after that great play from Levi in center. Can't say enough about the job he's done all year long out in center.
That was all or nothing. Imagine that ball bounces in front of Levi's glove. That might roll all the way back to center field. You're talking about maybe an inside park the home run. Definitely standing on third would be Tanner Johnson with a 5-4 lead already. And now we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Scouts and skilled now at the plate can get this victory for Jordan Schaefer.
So Delaval is going to be back out there for another inning. Came back in the 6th inning in relief of Peterson. And the good thing for the Scouts, you have exactly who you want coming up in this inning. Led off by Christian Binger. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Had an infield hit back in the 7th on miscommunication between Delavella and Wallace on a hit in the middle of the infield. Kyle Carnahan, he'll come up to the plate. He's 1 for 4 on the day with 3 groundouts. And then you bring up David Gaunt, who has been really hit or miss today, and for the last couple games has struck out twice, but did have a solo home run back in the 6th inning.
From a build here to its climax in the top of the 9th inning here at Grady's Field. Scouts let 1 run come across the board after a couple of errors. One from Lee Solomon, one from Kyle Carnahan, hindered the Scouts, and a pass ball tied up this game as Christian Binger steps up to the plate. No stranger to late game dramatics. First one inside for a ball.
We've seen Christian Binger have a walk-off 2 RBI single last month against the Locos, and it was actually his first hit on the season at that point.
One up pitch to Christian. That one
Oh, it's inside, man.
very, very, very inside corner for a strike.
I like how you phrased that.
1-1 from Della Vella. He winds and delivers. And that one misses. Count is now 2-1.
He has 33 strikeouts and 3 walks. 2 of them to lead this game.
Perry Della Vella gets set again. Here comes the throw. That one's lined out. Hard cut from Christian Binger to even up at 2-2. Christian also had a triple in the bottom of the 14th inning against the Lorain County Ironmen and came home and passed ball for the walk-off winning. Unbelievable contest. Now facing a 2-2 pitch. Swung on a line to right field. It bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. Christian Binger starts off the bottom of the 9th with the double.
Ice in his veins. Turn up the pressure. He comes through every single time. He's like a lump of coal. You press hard enough, it turns into a diamond.
Corner number 16.
And here comes Kyle Carnahan. Have to imagine sack bunt all the way from Kyle Carnahan. If David Gaunt coming up after this, just need a fly ball for him to tag up Christian Binger. Have to think small ball here for Mr. Hot Corner.
We've seen Kyle lay down some sacrifice bunts before. We saw it against Lima on Saturday, actually. That was in a game he had 2 home runs at that point and still laid down a sacrifice bunt. So definitely in the realm of possibility for Carnahan right now.
Christian Binger on second base, 4-4 game, bottom of the 9th. He will not. He'll swing away at that one. Misses 0-1.
Here we go, Cal.
Unless he's just not a good bunter, dude. I don't think
Christian Binger on second gets his lead. Perry Della Vella still on the mound for the Licking County Settlers. 4-4 score, bottom 9. No outs. Here comes the next pitch. Swung on and tipped away, or did not hit anything. Christian Binger is going to get to third. Forget the sacrifice bunt. It's going to be a pass ball.
Same thing we saw with Carnahan when we played Lorain County, except Christian Binger was at third already at that point. So he advances on another passed ball, gets to third, but it's an 0-2 count on Carnahan.
So if Kyle Carnahan can get under this one to deep center field, left field, or right field, you got to imagine it's going to be a Scouts victory. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, and that was going. And it bounces over the fence for a ground rule double walk-off for the Xenia Scouts. Kyle Carnahan with the 0-2 count puts it away, and his teammates chase him around the field for the Scouts victory. The Baby Blues fight back and get the win. Jordan Schaefer, of course, will be today's player of the game. The complete game with all 9 innings.
That brings us to the conclusion of tonight's ball game.
And the Xenia Scouts,
On behalf of
after losing 6 straight games, get back in the walk-off in their favorite category as Kyle Carnahan with the ground rule double to left center field after the ground rule double from Christian Binger.
And you can't write it well enough. With all the walk-offs that happened to the Scouts last week, you had to think the tide would turn
One more note,
back
Jordan,
to
we love you and
the
you will always
Scouts'
be family
favor.
to us here in Xenia.
You have
Thank
to
you
love
for
how
all
they
you
came
brought
out
to
in
our
this
team
inning.
and to our
You had the
lives.
perfect
Brothers for life, my
perfect
man.
guys coming up in the bottom of the 9th. I can't say enough about that. Having Christian Binger come up, having himself a ground rule double. Same thing for Kyle Carnahan to end the game. Looked like that one might just get over the fence out there, but just barely stayed in for the double. Eventually popped over the wall. So great way to win a game after struggling all last week.
You can't talk enough about the performance from Jordan Schaefer, who lost his grandfather last night in a battle to cancer. Came out today. The greatest pitching performance we've seen this year. Yes, he gave up more hits than we've seen, But with all the factors coming into play, to go all 9 innings, which we haven't seen this year, Jordan Schaefer, clearly today's player of the game. Can't say enough about the poise, the determination, the perseverance of this young man, who with heavy heart receives hearty hugs from the Xenia Scouts. Let's shift our camera towards that direction. On the third base line towards Jordan Schaefer, as he is about to be our player of the game, will be interviewed up here. As we'll try to get a view overhead camera out of a drone image, courtesy of Mr. Lance Morris. You see the Scouts huddling up after this dramatic victory, and Lance, you can put it down. We have to go over this incredible win. Scouts win 5-4. Impressions of the game.
Well, it was a fantastic game. There was no other way to put it. Didn't think we were going to need a bottom of the 9th inning the way things were going, but the tide turned and the Scouts found a way to put the one on the board that they needed in the bottom of the 9th. And just going back to last week, 3 walk-offs against the Scouts, and you had to figure the tide would turn. The Scouts would find a way to put enough runs on the board to win. Didn't think it was going to take the full 9 inning. Thought we were going to be able to get out of this after the top half of the inning. But Jordan Schaefer's up here, and I'm going to let him get to Terry.
Jordan Schaefer, today's player of the game. As we'll try to finagle the camera around, Lance Morris will be taking care of that. I'll have you sit closer to me here. Try and move that slightly this direction. There we go in frame. Jordan, first of all, congratulations. It's an unbelievable performance out there. Not much else can be said. This was your first start of the season. You didn't start a game in college this year. What were your thoughts going into on your first start for the Scouts?
I just tried to think back of what I did in high school. Pregame routines and all of that stuff, and really not much was on my mind all day. It's been just a really emotional day for me and my family, and just try to get through it. And for my grandpa, I know he's watching down on us today. So.
And we mentioned in the broadcast, grandfather lost his battle with cancer last night. As a person who's lost 2 grandparents to cancer myself, I can relate, and I'm there with you in prayer. And just what's going through your mind as you're out there going in the 9th inning with all that on your mind? It's unbelievable what you just went through.
I pray between every inning, because that's my platform to share the gospel. But that inning was especially special to me because, I wanted it to be done for my grandpa. I knew he was watching down on us, and, I was just asking God to lift us up on wings like eagles right here because, Grandpa's up there watching, and he helped us, man, definitely. He was watching.
Yeah, you see those 2 errors in the top of the 9th. You have to be like a punch to the stomach. But what are your thoughts going to the 9th inning as your team or to going up to the plate trying to get you that victory?
Honestly, there's never a doubt in my mind. They were all, I'm sorry, but I just looked at them and said, y'all, we're about to walk it off. We've been walked off so many times in the last week, and I was like, you know what, it's our turn. It's our turn. There's no better way to end that story right there than with a walk-off.
It was absolutely storybook. It's something you see out of movies. Congratulations, that not only the best performance I've seen this season, but something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. I want to give you a hug on the broadcast as Jordan's heading home tomorrow. He's been a great addition to this team, a great brother in Christ, and just a great person to get to know this last week and a half. And it's really, really hard to see you go tomorrow, but it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you play and get to talk to you over this week and a half.
Right. Well, I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank, the Scouts for letting me come up here and play. And, it is sad that I have to leave, but I got to be there for my family.
Absolutely.
And if there is an opportunity for me to come towards the end of the year, maybe playoffs, last few games, then I'll definitely be back up here.
All right, Jordan, I'd love to see it. I really will. I wish you luck in travels, and I'll be with you in prayer in the next few days with you and your family. Congratulations again today. It's just an unbelievable performance, but thank you for all you've brought to my life and to the Xenia Scouts.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have Jordan step off the headset, bring it back to Lance Morris. As Lance gets his hug in as well, and just not enough you can say. That's a man. That's manhood at its finest. For Jordan Schaefer dealing with a death in his family come out to give a performance like that. Words can't describe it, Lance Morris, only emotions.
There's really nothing else we can say that hasn't already been said. When we were actually in discipleship today, after we said Jordan was going to start, because we didn't know coming into the day who was going to start. We had no idea. We thought it could be Crawford. We didn't know if Joey was going to be able to start. And then we hear Jordan was going to start after we heard all his story, his testimony today. And Dewey kind of said it best. He said Jordan was going to go out there and throw the game of his life. I think that's about exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
Didn't appear that way in the stat category. He gave up a couple runs, most of them unearned. But you can't ask for much more today from Jordan Schaefer, like you said, with all the emotional stuff that's going on in his head and in his heart, to go out there and perform the way he did. Very admirable. And after last week we saw all those videos on courage, I think Jordan showed a tremendous amount of courage today on the baseball field.
Jordan Schaefer will play in a number of baseball games for the rest of his life. He's played in plenty before this day. I don't think 30 years from now, when he's looking back at it, none will stand out as much as here at Grady's Field under these bright lights here on the turf field for the Xenia Scouts for his grandfather. It's just something that I'll never forget here broadcasting up in the booth. I know you'll probably never forget. He'll never forget. Hopefully you watching at home never forget. And like I said, words can describe what we just saw out of Jordan Schaefer. But regardless, Scouts get the victory 5-4. Seems like 5-4 is always the score of our walk-off games for and against the Scouts this year. There's been magic here at Grady's Field. There's been heartbreak at Grady's Field. But it's been a whole lot of fun here at Grady's Field this season for the Xenia Scouts. Scouts now 16-12 on the season. 2 straight wins, sweep the Licking County Settlers. The 3-time defending league champions, a 4-0 against them this year. The Scouts will be in action again tomorrow, back down at Athens at Bob Wren Stadium against the Southern Ohio Copperheads. We don't know who's going to be starting that contest, to be honest with you.
We're not sure.
We'll try to get that to you, but stay tuned with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, XeniaScouts.com, where we'll, of course, have our story tonight, wrap up this just unbelievable game. Thank you for all of you that have stood with us through this broadcast, listening at home. It's been an absolute pleasure for myself, and I know for my partner Lance here. And one final time, the final score here at Grady's Field. Scouts win on a walk-off from Kyle Carnahan after the complete game from Jordan Schaefer, 5-4. He's Lance Morris. I'm Terry Lash. Good night, folks.